Unfortunately, producing some rather large hail over the northeastern side of Marion County, across parts of Hancock County and southern Hamilton. This is what's left of the severe thunderstorm warning. We've had reports of egg-sized hail over in Geist. I've seen reports of golf ball-sized hail on the northeastern side of Marion County as well. Severe thunderstorm warning will continue until 7:15. If you're in this polygon, McCordsville, the worst is over right now. If you're on Geist, the worst is over with this storm. The core of the hail right now just east of Lawrence along Pendleton Pike and moving toward the east and southeast. We've also noticed some rotation with the storm. I want to show you the radar velocities with this over the last, let's take it back, we'll go back the last half hour here. All right, some rotation, but the atmosphere was just primed to explode, and that's what happened. It took a little bit, but now it's going on here. What I want to do, I want to show you our camera network here, and that's the tornado warning polygon. I'm going to show you our camera on the north side. So we're looking at the base, the backside base of this storm. All right, and then I'm going to put you on the spot, Nick. If you can pop up links 1 real quickly. Kelly's got some viewer reports, photos, and that's well over quarter-sized hail coming to us from Lawrence. And Kelly, if you have more, just if you got a slideshow, let me know.
Yeah, this is likely ping-pong size hail, and that's 1.5-inch size hail sent in by Nora Lindsay from Lawrence. And remember that 1-inch size is considered damaging hail, and that's because it does cause damage. So we're likely going to have a lot of roof damage and windshield damage out of these storms today. Yeah, in fact, I had someone tweet me that they did have someone with a busted windshield on that cell. So let's go back to live Doppler. Oh, there you go. That's from John in Castleton there. Yeah, so it seems to be the Castleton, Lawrence, up toward Geist area where we're getting the large hail with this storm, explosive storm. So this is what's going on. I'm going to put the radar into motion. We have additional severe thunderstorms as well. And I will tell you this, we've been talking a lot about wind. There's definitely going to be some flooding rain. But these storms, this initial batch of storms has an environment that will allow them to rotate. We're going to have to monitor that closely, okay? We've got another severe thunderstorm that's going over Cloverdale right now. I'll give you the latest time on that. That goes until 7:45. Heads up in Martinsville if this thing holds together, moving your direction, okay? And then the tornado watch for Richmond and Connorsville, that goes until 11 p.m. And there's the new severe thunderstorm warning that's been extended. Includes Newcastle, includes Knightstown, Greenfield, and Carthage. Okay, and Nick, if you want to do splits too, you can. If you can pop them up and do split, yeah, little box and box. And hey, Kelly, I don't know if you can get into Slack. If you can turn some pictures around in Slack, Jennifer just sent us one from Oak Landon, and I mean, that looks like golf ball to me. All right, so I'm going to put on our local storm reports, and then look at this. Look at the hail swath. Just me. If you put me in the lower corner, is fine. On the split box there, I can be small, and that way we can. But these are all hail reports. I mentioned Nora earlier. Fisher's Geist. So again, that's the swath of hail here that has been moving through. And so again, severe thunderstorm warning. Where you see these purple shades, and let me take the storm reports off here. Where you see these purple shades, so near Pleasant Acres, near Mount Comfort, Warren Park, not technically in the severe thunderstorm warning, but that hail is really, really close. That hail core is really close to Warren Park. So that's the 70-465 split there on the east side of Indy. Okay, so that again, that's with the severe thunderstorm warning. Multiple storms. Now, I would expect this development to continue
And this is just the beginning of a long night for us, unfortunately. So we've got the, here's a storm report out of Putnam County of golf ball sized, unfortunately, too. So 1 3/4 out of Putnamville. And that's where you, again, when you look at live Doppler 13 radar, that purple shading, that's the hail core. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do here is try to slice this storm. All right, there you go. So I'm going to try to slice this storm, tilt this thing, and you can see, look at that. So that's the hail core right there. So that has to come out of the sky. Unfortunately, a lot of it is not going to melt. Sometimes, you know, the freezing level's high enough to where these things can melt. The rising motion is so strong with these particular storms that these stones they're not going to melt before they hit the ground, and that's what we have. That's what's going on with that storm right there. All right. So we got again multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me do, and then in terms of the wind, the highest wind that we're seeing, at least with this particular one, let me do a query on that. So that's near Markerville. So if that reaches the ground, we're talking well over. And this was, if you remember leading into this, we talked about the potential for significant wind gusts, significant being 75 mile per hour plus. That is what we're addressing there. Mechanicsburg, Woodville, Markville. If that reaches the ground, not saying it's going to, but if it does, that is certainly going to do some wind damage. And that's been the other part of the concern here. This thing exploded so rapidly, and it became a prolific hail producer. Okay, so if you're just joining us here live on our feed, 20 minutes after 7, we're just gonna do some coverage here this evening. We may occasionally have to go over to Channel 13, where the U.S. Open's being played right now. We may go over there if we do get tornado warnings. But right now we're going to be doing the streaming coverage. And Kelly, holler at me if you have any, if you get any pictures in at all.
I've got another one up if you want to.
Yeah, pop it in.
Pull it up.
Pop it in, yeah. And that's from Oak Landing, yeah.
Yes.
So that's Randy. Okay, that's the one Jennifer sent in. Yeah, there you go.
It's crazy.
So that's some of the biggest hail I've seen around here.
Yeah, at least in this area.
while.
We had some in Greensburg, I think maybe a year ago, where we had some incredible size hail, but maybe it's 2 years ago. 2020 didn't happen, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, especially this close in the metro area where we're having such severe hail, where we're going to likely have a lot of damage coming out of this storm.
Yeah. We've got, we've got, now, just a matter of the atmosphere was ready to rock.
Right.
And we just did, we needed something to lift it, to set it off. All right, so.
Sorry.
Yeah, that might be, let's see what that is. See if that's a.
I'm loading the chat on another computer.
Okay, I've got it up over here too, so make sure we don't. Yeah, so I'm not, right now I'm not overly concerned with necessarily tornadic rotation, but Matt and Nick, if you can, hop back to 2 real quick. So we're looking at the sizes here. So if you look at 1 3/4, that's golf ball. And then once you get to near 2, 2.5, that's when you're into to tennis ball sized hail. Golf ball will break out windshields. It travels at the ground at about 100 miles per hour. So that will definitely do some damage to windshields. So setting the stage here, I don't have the severe thunderstorm watch turned on right now, but there is a severe thunderstorm watch that includes Indy. That goes until 2 a.m., by the way, just kind of give you a hint of how long this severe weather event is going to go, and it may go beyond 2 o'clock too. And the flash flooding threat is rather high. So it's kind of
that
a multi.
we had more confidence in than anything, and
Yeah.
now we're seeing these large updrafts causing these huge sized hail.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I've got lightning turned off, but we'll turn it on, and you can see. There you go. I'm gonna shrink the size of the strikes there, but yeah, these are prolific lightning producers over just in this zone, just within this storm. over 300 in a short period of time. So lightning a big concern, the hail's a big concern, and from Lawrence over to Newcastle and Spiceland. We'll get in closer here. So again, when we start to get these purple magenta shades, that's where we could have hail falling. That's near Wilkeson. That's where we also talked about the wind potential. Okay, looking for, this is something we use called a shear detector. So these can sometimes it doesn't have to necessarily be twisting wind, but it can just be wind shear in general. So we may get an extension of a severe thunderstorm warning to include the eastern half of Marion County. Either way, we've got dangerous setup here just because of the lightning alone, but then you start factoring in the wind potential and then obviously the large hail. And the large hail that we talked about with this storm here, this is the one that put down almost 2-inch hail. They're estimating near 2-inch hail in Putnamville. And then look at, Kelly talked about damage, roof damage. I'm going to back the radar up. And all of those little dots are hail reports. We'll back the radar up about a half an hour. In fact, let's go back an hour. So, you know, this storm, I mentioned 0 to 60. So this was about an hour ago, and then watch it just ramp up, and then here come all the reports. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Get a little bit closer on the radar here, and that's all the hail reports. So, all right, severe thunderstorm warning continues till 8:15, and we've got the one across the southwest of Indy. Includes Cloverdale, Martinsville, not yet. That may change. So we want you to keep tabs on that one because that's been producing some hail as well. All right, want to do a larger picture here. In fact, let's do this. Let me show you how future track plays out. Okay, so we're going to have scattered to at times numerous heavy storms, and overnight into tomorrow morning, we're going to get into a situation where these storms are going to be doing something we call training, meaning they move over the same areas over and over again, and that will up the odds exponentially by tomorrow morning for flash flooding. It is going to be a long night. We may eventually lose the wind threat, but the heavy rain threat is going to be with us all night into tomorrow morning. So we want you to be aware of that. Go back to live Doppler 13 radar here, show you how the last hour has progressed. I mentioned there's a boundary, that little narrow area. Let me circle it. Just to the north of Indy, if you follow us on social media, we were tweeting out that might be the trigger that we needed to get the storms to explode, and voila, that is indeed what happened. Okay, we'll go from real time, and again, Kelly, just bark at me when.
I've got one ready if you want to see this one from Fall Creek area.
Okay, yeah, let's see it. My goodness, yeah, this is an insurance agent's nightmare. Yeah. Homeowner's nightmare. Yeah, undoubtedly there's going to be hail damage with this. Automobile and homes. Yeah, just looking over some of the reports here. They got a 2-inch size, egg-sized in Putnamville. Let me see if anybody sent me any pictures. Oh, wow. Kelly, I don't know if you can turn this one around. This is from another one from Lawrence. My goodness. Yeah, Lawrence has been rocked. McCordsville, just tweeting that out too. 75th and Sunnyside, that's a golf ball there. Yeah, these are.
Yeah, I'll grab that one. I'm trying to also get permission on the one from Benford.
Hey, I just tweeted one from Castleton Square, and Joseph usually lets me use them. If you can turn that one around, because that one you can actually see the rings in the stone, and so you can kind of, and that's a big one too. So again, right now we've got the far eastern part of Marion County technically under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we've got, and something that's going on that I'm noticing, these storms are doing something called back building, and we had this Saturday night, and so the core of the storm is east of downtown Indy right now, but as it goes up, it puts out rain-cooled air, and it continues to build along that boundary. And so that's what's going on right now. And that has been kind of a concern for the flooding potential, and you can sort of see it in the eastern part of the county. So the idea is that that western flank may continue to build westward. So where are we looking at downstream here? Heads up in Johnson County. If you have some friends that are on Lake Lemon, if they're on Lake Monroe, Morgantown, Trafalgar, heads up. You need to keep tabs on this storm that's to your northwest. The air, as I mentioned, is ready to go. It just needs something. It needed like a match to a wick, if you will, and that's what we've had. Usually in this kind of environment that we had where temperatures got into lower mid-90s, full of juice, once one goes, then it can be more of a domino effect. Now these are scattered right now. More than likely they'll become more numerous as we go through the overnight. You know what? Let me call up that camera. Okay, hang on here. Hang on here. Hey, if Cody's got his ears open, if he can let me know, and I'm trying to see which direction the downtown camera is pointing. Let me call up that camera. That almost, and I'm just trying to get my bearing straight with where we're looking in relation to the radar. It almost looks like a little bit of a lowering there. So looking, he's, okay, all right. Well, that would make, have him keep, yeah, have him leave that shot where it is. I think it's as far as we can go, panning left. All right, so that's our downtown tower camera looking toward the east-southeast. Let's go back to radar. So we're looking at that western flank of the storm, which when you're looking for rotation, that would be an area where you would want to look. And so we're talking over toward Beech Grove and just to the east of Beech Grove. Let's see if we're getting anything that's going to draw my attention. Not right now. And that's okay. Still got a severe storm in our hands. We'll still watch for rotation, that's for sure. We had, if you've been out of the loop, we had a tornado earlier today about 3:30 roughly in Jay County, the northeastern corner of Jay County. And that did some damage over there. Thankfully, we have not heard of any injuries, and that went over into Ohio. But whenever we see the western-southwestern flank of what looks like a supercell to me, showing a little hook, we will keep an eye on that. Absolutely. And as I mentioned, the atmosphere is still, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that tower camera too. You got a new one there? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, and we're definitely getting potentially some large hail east of Beech Grove. So that's near Cumberland. I'm going to get in really close here. So this is, so there's 10th Street. South of that, there's Brookville Road. So just south of Cumberland right now, and that's heading toward Carriage Estates. That's heading toward New Pal. And if it does anything like it did earlier, I would be, if you can, move your car in. Okay, that core is moving toward the east and southeast. I've got a 15-minute loop here. And
all right, I've got Joseph's in there now.
And that's part of the severe thunderstorm warning. So we saw similar signatures earlier with live Doppler 13 radar, and this is what it delivered. This is the hail Joseph sent us from Castleton Square. And if you look closely within that shot, you will see rings in there, and those rings represent how many times the stone went up and down the storm to get those layers. The stronger the updraft into a storm, it keeps that stone elevated, and it gets another layer of ice until it defeats gravity and comes down. And that's what's going on. So, all right, so now we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. I kind of was wondering, I kind of figured that would happen. Let's go back to live Doppler 13 radar. So this is going to take into account that western and southwestern flank. So this includes, Beech Grove. This includes New Pal, Morristown, Rushville, very close to Shelbyville, enough to watch it, and Sugar Creek here. So that's severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go until 8:15. If you're watching us southwest of Indy, we are aware of that one too. Core of the storm now east of Cloverdale on that one. Let me just double check chat here. And if you see anything in chat, Kelly, that bears, well,
Okay.
there you go. So we talked about Warren Park.
Yes. Golf ball size hail, 1.75 inches,
Yep.
7:20.
That came in at
Just a few minutes ago.
That was 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to take the radar and we're going to go back 15 minutes. Yeah, there you go. So you see that purple shade there, purple shading. So that particular it's picking up on those stones, and so that's what delivered the 1 3/4 inches. So now we've got something similar just near Cumberland and heading toward New Pal, heading toward Carriage Estates. No doubt that's going to have some large hail with it. No doubt is going to have severe hail. So if you can, I would strongly recommend moving your vehicle in if you can. Let's see if we can pinpoint any. Yeah, so in terms of wind velocity, we're looking for either bright red or bright green on this. And the bright red there going through Kennard and Newcastle. I'll put our shear product on here. Again, this picks up, violent wind. And so we've got some of that near New Pal as well. Now, I don't know about you, Kelly. I have not seen up to this point a lot of wind reports.
No, which is interesting because we thought that would be.
Yeah.
But they're kind of setting up. They're not jellying as much as we thought they would. They're more discreet.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought the leading edge would at least have some strong gusts, but we just haven't had the reports coming down.
We'll see, because when I was looking at radar just now and stuff going through Hancock and into Henry County, we'll see if that does produce some wind damage. I hope it, believe me, I hope it does not. So I'm going to pull the radar out. Let's put it into motion. And I'll tell you what, let's do a 45-minute loop. And I'm going to put the lightning back on too, just to kind of set the overall stage. It's going to have a lot going on. Lightning, I mean, these things are going to put down a lot of lightning, without a doubt. All right, let me check our... Yeah, and I mean, in the environment these storms are in, the environment's capable of producing rotating storms. So we'll certainly watch that. Doesn't matter what's doing the wind damage. All right, So resetting the stage here at 7:36. It's going to be continuous storm coverage on Facebook Live. I believe we're on YouTube. We're on our weather app. Hopefully you were able to download and have our app on your phone. It's nice because it'll actually, I got a push alert earlier from, it just said dangerous. It wasn't even, we weren't technically under a severe thunderstorm warning in my location at that point. It just said dangerous storm moving your direction. So it can give you a heads up on these storms. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings at this hour. Let me get back to live Doppler 13 radar. We're going to take off the lightning feature so we can dig in a little more to some radar analysis. In fact, speaking of, let me do, and you can see you can see the movement here. So everything kind of going east and southeast. So if you're in Connorsville, Greensburg, you had a quick storm move through. Columbus heads up, okay? And Rush County is about to get rocked. They already have one storm in there. It's going to converge with this other one. So heads up in Rushville, Carthage, yeah, Knightstown, you already got that storm over you. But the lightning's going crazy right now. And Connorsville heads up over there, as well as Brookville. This is moving your direction, just a matter of time. Don't know what kind of shape it's going to be in, if it's still going to be producing large hail. But when these storms converge, it ups the ante for flooding. And then we'll wait and see, you know, if we get any type of rotation within them. Right now, I'm not seeing. I'm looking and not seeing anything that's of immediate concern, but an area that we will watch.
I've got another hail one if you want to look. It's not as big. It's just that you can still see the rings.
Yep.
Susan Batt, one of our WTHR co-workers, sent this one in from Nora, Indiana. Yep. And you can just see this is one of the ways that hail is developed with these strong updrafts. It keeps being forced up by these strong winds in the atmosphere, pushing it back up, and it keeps layering after layer after layer of super cooled moisture on top of those. And that's why you can see the rings, which makes it's just a fascinating way these storms are formed with hail.
Yep, absolutely. And then again, that'll do some damage. So go back to radar, and then I'm going to pipe up. So this is live Doppler 13 radar here. So we've got the severe thunderstorm that includes all of Hancock, parts of Shelby County. And now I want to show you our camera downtown looking east-southeast. And there's a little, Cody, if you can hear me, brother, if you can, I don't know if you can zoom in just a little bit. If you can zoom in for me, I'd really appreciate it. There's a little bit, what looks like a lowering to me. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. So that's looking, again, that's looking east. We're looking kind of east-southeast with that into this flank. Right in this area, right in here. And right now, not seeing anything that's alarming me for rotation, but there's definitely a little bit of a lowering, which is not too much of a surprise. Either way, this is a dangerous storm.
It is out of Madison and Marion County for that threat of severe weather.
I'm sorry?
The National Weather Service has canceled the warning for Marion and Hancock.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hamilton.
Yeah. And for the near term, basically north of this line, you're okay right now. Right now, because we've got a long way to go. We fully expect there's going to be additional storms that are going to be developing up over into Illinois here. And those are going to be riding down the old 74-70 corridor, right? Of immediate concern right now, and I suspect if these values that we're seeing on radar that are east of Cloverdale continue, we're going to probably get an extension of that warning to include the rest of Morgan County, at least the southern portion of Morgan County. And if you're watching us in Martinsville now, or if you have some friends in Martinsville, might just want to give them a text. Tell them, hey, if you can get your car indoors, might not be a bad idea. Right now, we're still seeing signs of a hail core there, and at some point, that's going to have to come down. So, and that storm, you know, I'll loop this over the last 15 minutes. It looks like it's going to come right into Martinsville. And then we've got, this is likely hail that's falling over Hancock County. Core of the storm now just east of Cumberland, in New Pal now. Hopefully you got the warning. And not far from Greenfield. And likely you're having, I would assume, having some hail in Greenfield as well. We mentioned all of this, and then of course, then here we've got the lightning that's going crazy here. Let me shrink the size down a little bit. Put the counter on this too. So yeah, these storms are going to be big time lightning producers, downpours.
We do have an update from one of the emergency managers. Actually, he's a ham operator, but we love them. They're awesome. This is from Putnam County. Just a follow-up that a tree is down approximately 60 foot tall and 12-inch diameter. It was a live tree that was in southeast Putnam County.
Okay.
They also had golf ball size hail
Yep.
there.
Okay.
And that was at County Road 1000 South and County Road 775 East.
Okay. Well, yep, there you go. And I just had someone tweet me from Cloverdale. I can't, he's private, so I can't retweet his picture, but he's basically telling me what you just told me.
Yeah.
He's showing me the hail picture, and it's larger, definitely. It's gone.
But we are starting to at least see that there is some wind out there with these
Yep.
storms. It's
Yep.
just the hail is so massively large that
Yep.
that's kind of taking over some of these reports, I really think.
Yep.
I do have another hail picture here. This is also from Susan Batt, one of our co-workers here, and she placed, which helps with the
Yes.
diameter, showing the quarter in comparison with the size of the hail, so it gives you at least an understanding of how large the hail is.
Yep. Yeah. So we are looking at yes.
Is that getting you what you need, being just on the guest network, or is it,
I haven't had a chance to log into it yet.
okay, because I don't know if you'll have access to your station equipment.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I just got everything chimed in here.
We've got another computer that
Yeah, I've got my computer, Norm.
we think we can make work.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're not concerned about
Nope.
this?
We're actually just broadcasting on Facebook Live right now.
Okay.
So we're good to go, Norm. Thank you
friend.
so much.
Greatly appreciate it, buddy.
That's one of our great long-time
Yes.
engineers. Norm, thanks, Norm.
Thank you, bud. Yeah, so we were.
How,
She said
50
it. She said
seconds?
it, not me.
Woo! Oh, Norm, come on over here for a second. Let's get Norm on
Yes,
camera
come
for a
on, Norm.
second.
Come on.
Come on, Norm.
Come on. You can do it.
52 years in engineering, or how many years here?
52 years here.
Oh, good
Oh,
grief. Come
boy.
here, Norm. Don't be shy now. You're not shy. Come on.
Hey, pop them up, Nick, if
Come
you
on.
can. We're amongst friends here.
Norm,
Yes.
52 years, WTHR, and how many severe storms have you been a part of?
Oh, probably 50 to 100.
There you go.
I would say at least.
Including chasing them in live trucks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Never knew what I'd do with one if I caught it, but
What's your most memorable moment?
oh golly, there are so many. I don't think I could pick one.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for helping
Well,
us get set up
yes.
today. Obviously, we're back, in the studio, so things have been a little crazy just trying to get all organized. So Norm's been our go-to guy. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, well, I tell you, we've got this storm that's southeast of Indy starting to hook a little bit. Let's see here.
And then some of the hail pictures were kind of settling down, so I thought I would come back out here if you need any help.
Yeah, so this has caught my attention here. This is, so the hail core now over New Pal. Hail core near Greenfield. And then we've got this hook here that's beginning to show up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, so a lot of times what'll happen, especially in the environment we're playing with here, we look for a hook. What's going on? There's inflow into the storm, and then you've got outflow, and it's kind of wrapping around. Right now, let me go back. Right now, nothing is, boom, screaming, but there is some rotation. There is some rotation that's showing up in that storm, that severe thunderstorm right now. You can see the green and red next to each other near Sugar Creek, and that's what we look for. So just a heads up there. Heads up if you're in Moorestown. Heads up even in Shelbyville. And then with live Doppler 13 radar, we have these are what are called shear markers. And so there's one that's near Shelbyville. And so sometimes they will, that's an area that's basically, the algorithms of the radar are saying, hey, look at me. So there's some twisting going on down there that we're going to need to monitor as well. And we had some of those markers earlier today on a cell that produced a tornado in Jay County and eventually went over into Ohio. All right? So we're going to watch that particular area closely. And of course, this is all in addition to the hail the hail aspect of all of these storms that
I
are
pulled
that are
up the
moving
hail
through.
swath if you want to jump to
Yeah.
one again.
and
You can see just how incredible. This is just the past hour. It's depicting all of where those hail swaths have been, and you can see really northeastern and eastern Marion County really getting hit. That's where we got the storm reports, and of course even southern Putnam County, where we're still getting more reports from Eminence, Cloverdale, Greencastle with all of those reports, and that's why this does a great job. It really investigates what's happening with the environment and with the radar picking up these hail cores and just reflecting back to radar so that we can put this in motion and show where it's likely still going. So if I go ahead and move this out so you can see a little bit more where it's heading, obviously into Henry County and making its way east across portions of Greenfield, likely going to get hit there as well, into likely Decatur County later on this evening, where we're watching. Was this the little bit of the rotation you were looking for in Shelby County?
Yes.
Or is this a new one?
That is one. That is one.
That is one of them. Okay,
There's,
so
yeah, there's looks like a couple.
a little bit of rotation in
Yeah.
and these storms, which is not out of the question either. I'll go back and put radar reflectivity back on here so we can see. This is more of what we expected to see, these coming together, gelling together with some of these heavy downpours, and we have the lightning off
Wow.
because it's just really hard to see.
So we've got. We mentioned New Palace several times. They had egg size there.
Wow.
They had egg size.
Incredible.
And yeah, that thing is really starting to hook. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the severe. And pause this here.
Yeah, that thing is starting to hook a bit.
Sorry, it's a little gate-to-gate shear within that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Off.
if you're near 74 and 52, you should probably a good idea just to go ahead and get in your safe location. Morristown, Shelbyville, and in
Rays
Rushville.
Crossing, Middletown.
Yeah, those are, you probably want to get into your safe area until this storm can pass by. And we'll see if hopefully it doesn't materialize into something bigger, but there's definitely some rotation being detected on live Doppler 13 radar, and you can look at what we call again the shear detector. So it looks for kind of violent wind in relation to the rest of the storm, and that's what we're picking up here. So again, near Green Meadows, not too far from Clover Village. That's 950 north, and just north of 74.
Might even be picking up a little bit on CC.
Okay.
It's a little muddied, but we have so much rain with that
this
too.
this is something that we use called basically call it debris detector, but it'll scan the rain droplets or what's falling from the sky, and it can detect whether or not it's a rain droplet or maybe it's something from a tree or a house. So we had a very significant one earlier where it was a donut hole on there, and that was, I'm not seeing that yet. We'll watch it. But yes, we definitely, if you're in that severe weather polygon that includes Morristown and Rushville, you're in the path of large hail, but you need to be going ahead and getting your safe spots. Now we need to expand out. We've got other warnings too that include Richmond, Hagerstown, Cambridge City. That's severe thunderstorm that goes until 8:15. Spiceland, for now, the worst is over. Greenfield, you're just about done in terms of severe. You still have lightning that's close by. And we will wait and watch to see if these storms continue to backbuild. And I mentioned Martinsville, and there you go. Lake Lemon now included, Morgantown, Martinsville, Paragon, severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30. Go ahead and take it,
Did
Kelly.
you see this report from New Pal, tennis ball size hail?
Yeah. Yeah, there was some
I'm sorry
egg
if you
and
mentioned
some
that.
yeah, tennis ball, egg, yeah. Oh yeah, well, I'm sorry, now that's a new one. So that's a
Whew.
new one.
That's incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
We just don't see this type of size of hail in Indiana.
We haven't in a long. It's been a while. I'm trying to, you know, my brain's mush right now. But we there were some. We had a couple of big boys back in the early 2000s. 04 and 05
Yeah.
seem to come to mind. But no, this is going to be a very costly storm.
That was early on before I even started actually in meteorology. So a little before my
Wow.
time.
Go. Okay, and okay. Kelly, why don't you take it? I'm going to, and I've got a picture of hail too. Go ahead and pop Kelly up. I'm going to turn this around real quickly.
Oh, I can do that. I can go get it if you want.
Well, someone tweeted me one too. I'm going to.
Okay,
In
I'll let
fact,
you do it.
yeah, I got to. Just give me a second, Nick.
Yeah,
I'm going to
go ahead.
try to hop out of shop.
All
here.
right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on some of these warnings again. So you can see, obviously, just to kind of start fresh here, we do have these severe thunderstorm watches out for most of central Indiana, and then these warnings have been developing throughout the evening hours, which is what we anticipated. The models were depicting this. We just had all the prime ingredients for really these strong storms with all the moisture and the lower levels, and then we had temperatures that soared into the low 90s. Heat indices made it into almost the triple digits in most spots this afternoon. And then, of course, we have a lot of precipitable water. So we're wringing out a lot of moisture with these storms, as they didn't take much to just kind of burst and explode as they developed. I turned off the lightning tracker. I'll just put it on quickly just so you can see just the numerous amounts, over 1,000 lightning strikes with these storms, pushing off to the east, southeast, and several warned storms here. And let's see if I can click on some of these here. And let me turn off the pixel here. Severe thunderstorm warning. This includes portions of Newcastle, but Newcastle, you're pretty much in the clear on this one at this point. So this one until 8:15. It does include Greenfield, Knightstown, Louisville. You're probably going to be okay with this one, but Carthage, the bulk of this storm is heading your way. And then the next one a little bit farther south of that area until 8:15, so about 20 more minutes with this one. Morristown included in that one, Sugar Creek, and some of these dark purples tell us that there's likely some hail within those as well. And let's see, let me zoom in a little closer in this area.
Lord.
Moscow, Indiana, what you seeing?
Wait until you see this hail
Okay.
picture. I shouldn't laugh, but it's
And
just
it's
like,
just-
my goodness.
It's just mind-boggling how huge they are. Richland, also in that severe thunderstorm warning, and just this other one over here, moving through Morgan County, Martinsville, Paragon, possibly some rotation with this one as well. Looking a little ominous on radar here. We'll pull up storm relative velocity. Looks like we might see some rotation within this one too, Sean. I'm going to turn off the cylinders here so we can see a little closer here in this shear. What we watch out for, and I'm going to see how strong of winds we have. 25-mile-per-hour winds on one side, close to 40 on the other side. So we look for that strong winds on both sides of that with the shear. And this is the area that we're looking at, circling it. It's not the best circle, I apologize, but this is the area that we're looking for, and I'll put that cylinder back on so you can see where we're actually giving the heads up with our radar depicting that possible rotation in the atmosphere. And that is a warned storm, but right now it's severe thunderstorm warning. We don't have a tornado warning, but that doesn't mean that something can't be rotating within the atmosphere and possibly drop down a funnel cloud or perhaps all the way to the ground as a tornado.
Yeah, hey, Nick, pop up 2 if you can. So this is from Jason.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
and,
my gosh.
3, well, he was telling me, he tweeted me 3 inches. So,
Wow.
So to put that into perspective, so, you know, you're getting over baseball. I'm getting over baseball size there. All right, we're going to have to go on all right, so we have a tornado warning that's been issued for Shelby County. So we're going to have to get into coverage on Channel 13. We're not, you'll be fine on Facebook Live. It was that area that we were talking about. Let me call up live Doppler 13 radar. And so tornado warning.
I haven't seen it come down yet.
Yeah, it just, there you go. Let me know when you're going on. All right. And you can do split boxes if you want. That's up to you.
You're taking the lead, right? Thank you.
Nick, punch up 2 in there if you. Hey everyone, this is live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. We are going to do a split screen here. We have a tornado warning that's been issued for parts of Shelby County. This includes Morristown. It includes Knighthood Village, Rays Crossing. There has been some radar rotation, so pop the radar up if you could, Nick, and we'll just we'll do the radar there. So again, southeast of Sugar Creek and just north of Shelbyville, we're noticing a little twisting within this severe thunderstorm that's produced some very large hail. So it's the rotation right now crossing State Road 9 near 74, just to the northwest of Shelbyville. Shelbyville, you're not in the polygon. Race Crossing, you're not, but Knighthood Village, you are. And so is Morristown. This goes until 8:30, so for another half hour. It may not necessarily last that long. You can see on live Doppler 13 radar, and I'm going to circle it here as you watch U.S. Open there on the right of your screen. This hook that's showing up, and that's where we have noticed some radar rotation, not far from Shelbyville. This is within a storm that has produced extremely large hail, near 3-inch in diameter, so we're talking near baseball-sized. Out of New Pal. But that area that I have circled would be the area of concern here. And as we put up live Doppler 13 radar, what we call our shear detector, where is the violent twisting or the twisting of wind, that's where we're seeing it. Close to Shelbyville, near Knighthood Village. All right, so that's where we have Race Crossing not involved now. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Greenfield, you're fine. Newcastle, you're fine. Rushville, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, and as well as Richland. This is now southeast of downtown Indianapolis. We also have additional severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're watching the storm that's just to the west. Well, it's over Martinsville, but the far western side of it is showing some rotation as well. So we may end up with another tornado warning. If you're in Gosport, I would go ahead and get in your safe location right now. If you're in Paragon, I would do the same. If you are on Lake Lemon, or if you have friends that are down there, I would text them, give them a call, let them know that this storm is rotating. It has produced large hail, and it's now showing some rotation. You can see that cylinder on live Doppler 13 radar picking up what I'm telling you. That's near Gosport. All right, so that could be a new tornado warning to come soon. I would certainly get in your safe locations within that storm. And then as we go back to the storm that's prompted the tornado warning here for parts of Shelby County, no doubt it's going to put down some large hail. That purple shade that you see on the radar, that has been indicative most of the day of putting down severe hail. And we've had numerous reports of that. But the severe thunderstorm or the tornado warning is a small portion of Shelby County for the area that we talked about. but I'm not going to be a bit surprised at all if we ended up getting a new tornado warning for this one, Kelly, over here in Morgan County, from what I'm seeing there on radar.
It looks like some pretty good rotation with that as well.
Have you seen anything from the chat room yet?
No,
National
just
Weather
still
Service
getting
chat
some
room.
reports in from all the hail. So we know also that these storms are indicative of producing the large hail, and we've had a lot of severe hail in excess of over 1 inch and even tennis ball size hail near New Pal tonight.
All right. So I'm trying to do a storm track one here. So again, tornado warning. That's why we're doing coverage here up until 8:30. Concerned with the hook shape that you see on live Doppler 13 radar. So I would go ahead, even let's do another analysis of this. Shelbyville, I would just get in you're close enough. I would be in your safe spots until this storm can pass to your southeast. And that anyone, if you know anyone that's making a journey on 74, I would certainly give them a heads up that this storm is almost paralleling I-74. This is a 15-minute lapse, and those purple shades that you see in the storm core, that's what's been putting down some very large hail. Very large hail. So Morristown in the hail core right now, and Shelbyville very close to the hook. And again, as we put on what we call our shear detector, so this is where the radar is detecting potential wind damage or wind damage potential near I-74 and around that Knightwood Village area, around Beach Brook and Brent Woods. One of several storms that are impacting. And then, of course, as we go back over into Morgan County, parts of Monroe County, and when we get these are what we call supercell storms. We pay special attention to the western and southwestern flanks of these storms, and so we are getting the wind shear marker that's showing up there near Gosport, and this storm definitely putting down some large hail as well. In fact, it looks like we had some wind damage reported here shortly. So trees down. Wait a minute, 7:50 a.m. I wonder if that's probably a typo, I'm assuming. At any rate, this storm is still showing a hook and still showing some rotation. So Shelbyville.
And that area hasn't been worked
southeast.
over yet.
No,
We know that
no,
it's
absolutely.
got some really great juice to it, so anything's possible with it to keep on going. Yeah,
and we've got other warnings. I'm just going to draw a line here. So basically, you get north of this line for now in the short term. You're fine on severe weather. That includes Indy, that includes Greenwood, Plainfield, Brownsburg. South of that line is an area of concern. In the short term, we're still at a long night ahead of us. We still expect additional thunderstorms. But for the time being, this is what's prompted the tornado warning. Radar indicated, by the way, so radar indicated rotation around Shelbyville.
And we still have some daylight out there, and that's helpful if we have spotters out in the area. Hopefully they can, make an eyewitness view of what is actually happening. We do have video from Fishers of a tree that's falling. So Nick, I don't know if you want to be able to pull that up here. Thank you.
Yeah, Markleville, multiple trees, power lines down.
Wow. I mean, that rain is coming down horizontally with the strong winds. We haven't gotten a lot of wind reports out of these storms because the hail has likely been really the dominating factor, but obviously the wind is substantial, especially on the leading edges of these storms. We know that that's going to be significant. Just had a Shelbyville, the actual weather station there reporting 59 knots per hour of wind. So that's closer to 65,
absolutely.
70 mile per hour
we're
winds.
probably going to get some wind damage out of this with the tornado warning. It is definitely showing some rotation. It's trying to tighten up a little bit. Shelbyville getting hit hard right now with wind, but also just to the north west of Shelbyville, there's some rotation that's going on that's prompted the tornado warning that continues until 8:30. So again, if you're in that area, if you're anywhere from Shelbyville to Richland and Rushville, going to be a good idea to get in your safe locations. And if you're within that area, Morristown, back just to the east of Sugar Creek, anywhere in this area, you expect large hail. There's going to be, we've seen it up to eggs and baseballs within this storm that's riding toward the southeast.
And the one to the south of that, where we don't necessarily have it warned as a tornado, it is severe warned, but we know that there's likely some rotation within that storm right over Gosport right now, just to the south of Paragon, and likely Paragon getting hit with some severe hail at this hour as well. Yeah,
so multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, wind damage easily over 60 miles per hour right now with the storm that's over Shelbyville. And
you can see the real strong inflow of that storm too, just wrapping around to the east of Shelbyville. The strong winds pulling into that updraft.
Yeah, so that's the area where we could have a quick, even if we don't have a quick touchdown, we could certainly have some wind damage with this as it drifts along I-74. So it's tornado warning for parts of Shelby County. We also have the severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until another 6 minutes. I assume that's going to be expanded toward the east and southeast, so heads up there in Greensburg. But we are going to cover this for the tornado warning aspect, and we do expect at least potential on this storm that's near Gosport and Paragon, showing some signs of spin there as well. So we got multiple storms that have rotation potential and are displaying it. Again, heads up there, Paragon, Lake Lemon, Martinsville, Morgantown. Get into your safe locations until this storm can pass over. And then we mentioned that we would get an extension of the warning, and then that's what's happened. So we've got now Hope and Greensburg that are included in a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 9 p.m. But please realize that within that hook, we could have, if we don't get a tornado, we could still get some strong winds coming to the ground.
Right, and we know that even just with damaging winds, that can cause just as much damage as a rotational wind. Looking at our 24-hour rain totals, Nick, if you want to pull up one again, I just have this pulled up for the 24-hour rain totals. If we start off in northeast central Indiana, you can see that's where we had the heaviest rain earlier tonight. And then east central Indiana just got hit about an hour ago. And now we're moving into south central Indiana. Still great ingredients there as these storms move into all of this very warm, moist air, allowing those strong updrafts to create the large hail. And unfortunately, some of that wind shear where we actually look for some of that rotation within the environment. And I'll go ahead and put back on reflectivity here. And the warnings, this has also had a lot of lightning. I'm sure that you've probably heard it most of the evening. If you're in central Indiana, we have a lot of lightning associated with these storms. And of course, again, we have the tornado warning still in effect.
Yeah, they actually just canceled that. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll go back to full screen golf. Our coverage will continue on Facebook Live, YouTube, and our Channel 13 app. We may have to come back on if a tornado warning is issued, which is a possibility. But for now, we will get you back to full screen coverage of the U.S. Open. Please stay weather aware, and we will be with you all evening long. Okay, so we're back on Facebook Live, and Michael Moss is someone who's been a chaser around these parts for many a years. I just saw he just tweeted me some lowering with that storm near Shelbyville, Kelly.
Okay.
So I sent it to our folks and see if they can get it turned around. I need to ask Michael if we can.
Kind of surprised that they did cancel that because it.
Well, I will. Yeah, I mean. I think the rotation is not as impressive as the one that's over Morgan County.
Yeah.
And I suspect if we get another tornado warning,
we might get another one.
It's probably going to be either way. Shelbyville, I'd say Shelbyville to basically along 74 here. Get ready to get rocked. Someone tweeted me from Shelbyville, and that was their phrase. Shelbyville's getting rocked right now.
I bet. And honestly, like they are moving pretty fast too, and they're just really taking shape. They're just blowing up.
Yep, yep. So,
Expanding outward, not necessarily moving south-southeast very quickly.
yeah, I'm
or
going to go back to
east-southeast.
our shear rate products. And we had a little more violent, well, I shouldn't use the word violent, but let me go back and, yeah. So when you see so this is, what's that, 10 minutes ago, 7 minutes? All right. There's definitely some wind potential. There's definitely hail potential. We know that. If you've got friends that are in Brown County, Bartholomew County, this is moving that way. And we will see if we all right, so heads up. We've mentioned it a few times, and even if we don't get a tornado, we could still get straight line wind out of this, and that's why it's also being warned as such. So severe thunderstorm warning for places like Lake Lemon, Morgantown, Paragon, Gosport.
I turned the marker off. It doesn't look as significant
And
over
then,
Gosport.
and then in addition to all of this, it goes without saying, I mean, these are some bad dudes when it comes to lightning. These are
Yes.
big time lightning producers.
Incredible.
We've got Richmond getting hammered right now, Connorsville, Brookville. So this will not be the end of storms. Just know that. We have a long way to go. So I'm just expanding live Doppler 13 radar, and what I'm going to do, let's do about an hour lapse so you can see the progression. Let me turn the lightning back off and kind of see the progression of these storms. We'll watch that one very closely on the west, we call it the western, southwestern flank here. This one near Martinsville. We'll watch that southwestern part of that storm. But yeah, I mean, these hail pictures are just, this is going to be just a flat out costly storm in terms of hail damage and roof damage. Got some, I got a picture from Greenfield just now of Mamadas clouds. So those are those bumpy clouds. So if you're just hopping with us, we appreciate it. We're going to keep this coverage going here this evening. So we're up to 8:17 now. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue east and south of the Indianapolis downtown area. Now the one for parts of Shelby and Rush and Bartholomew, Decatur, that goes until 9. And then we also have the one that includes Martinsville, includes Morgantown, Lake Lemon, and the worst is over Paragon right now. And we're still, take this back. So there's still a little bit of rotation going on in addition to some straight line wind as well. So undoubtedly, we may get into some wind damage issues over Paragon. That's what I'm thinking here. Multiple warnings. And I mentioned the long night ahead. Let me show you, this is future track 13 as we go from current and play through the rest of tonight, just to show you. And you see that enhanced risk. So again, we've got a lot of energy to use out of the atmosphere, and something is going to have to give. And what that is going to be, unfortunately, is additional heavy storm clusters overnight and early Saturday morning, and that will up the odds for flash flooding. And that's why we've had the level 3 out of 5 risk for us here in central Indiana for today. I'm going to show our camera network. This is the storm. We were looking at that one from the east-southeast. That one's not really showing me much right now. And if you, Kelly, if you see anything in the chat that I've missed, please, just let me know.
I'm getting another picture ready for you.
So yeah, the heavy rain, hail over Shelbyville, and in addition to the lightning. Let me circle. So this right here, that is all going to be, that's the hail core that's going to be falling over Shelbyville and down into Blue Ridge. And then we get back over to the other storm here that's still showing quite a hook. I will see if we get into a tornado warning there. Yeah. And we'll see if that's it.
Tornado warning.
There it is.
Brown, Monroe, Morgan until 8:45.
Okay, there we go. So
located 9 miles southwest of Martinsville,
Yep.
or 13 miles north of Bloomington, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour.
Okay. All right, let me...
All right, so we need to pop back on air.
Okay. You can wait till we get out of the commercial, that's fine. So, okay, so we're still Facebook Live. We're going to go back over and do coverage on channel 13 here, tornado warning. Does include Paragon. Okay. This is live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ash. We told you we would come back on if we had tornado warnings issued, and that is the case with the storm that we were monitoring in Morgan County that continues to show rotation on radar and a hook on radar. So live Doppler 13 radar shows this tornado warning that goes until 8:45. It includes Paragon. It includes Lake Lemon. Martinsville not in the tornado warning, but within the severe thunderstorm warning polygon. And so you can expect some large hail there. The same goes for Morgantown. This is just to the east of Gosport, where we've been monitoring this hook and potential tornado. And we were a little concerned earlier about it near Gosport. And so here's Paragon. There's Highway 67. And that's going to put it very close to Hollow Road. All right, this is moving east at 25 miles per hour. And we want you in your safe locations if you're in that tornado warning polygon. And so this is going to show you the roughest area. So there's 69 that cuts through Morgan County. This is going to put it just south of 67, really close to Paragon. And if you have any friends or they're down, people that are on Lake Lemon, please give them a heads up that a tornado warning has been issued, and the rotating portion of the storm is moving in that direction here. As I mentioned, the tornado warning technically not including Martinsville, but you were in the potential path of the hail core, and these storms today have been producing damaging hail. So Bloomington, based on the movement, you need to keep tabs on this. It may build a little bit to the south. Right now, Lake Monroe not under a warning. I assume Indiana University may be, they're very close to the polygon, so they may be hearing the sirens. But this is one of the more impressive looking cells that we've seen in
Right.
central Indiana,
really
not
see the
necessarily
hook
the
there.
one from Jay, but that is the hook that we are concerned about here, Kelly. We mentioned it when we were covering the Shelbyville storm, that we were concerned about that. So there's no doubt this is putting down large hail. It's that, let me circle it's this area back in here that we would be concerned about, a tornado, developing tornado dropping, and possibly, based on the track here, crossing I-69. I don't know if you saw anything in the chat other than.
No,
Yeah.
there's not. I can take it
And
real
this
quick,
radar,
though, if
this
want.
is right now radar indicated rotation. Not necessarily radar, a radar confirmed tornado. Hopefully that does not change, but that is a possibility. But yeah, definitely getting the hook signature and radar rotation with the tornado warning near Paragon. This goes until 8:45. It could, if it loses the signature, it's possible that like the Shelbyville storm, it could be allowed to expire early. But with that said, we need all of our folks that are watching us down there to get into their safe locations, away from windows, away from trees if you can, lowest level.
And we know there's kids taking summer classes at IU on campus, so if you have a student there, please warn them that there is the potential of some tornado rotation moving into Monroe County.
Yeah, so this basically is live Doppler 13 radar. We take out all the wind data and we circle in and hone in on the most dangerous part of the storm. And so it's going to be in that high, 67 and 69 corridor, moving toward Lake Lemon, out there in Morgan County. So tornado warning that goes until 8:45. In addition to the twisting that the storm is displaying and the wind shear. Let me put this on a shorter time lapse. But over the last half hour, prolific lightning producer, and in addition, some very large hail. These storms this afternoon, this evening, early this evening, have been producing very large hail. And from earlier today, and this did knock down some trees in Putnam County. So this storm has a bit of a history, in addition to that large hail earlier this evening as it moved through. But again, tornado warning right now. That's why we're doing the live coverage here on Channel 13 during the U.S. Open. Part of going to be a bit busy night. This is, if you want to call it round one, that's fine, because we've got we expect additional storms to emerge here as we go through the overnight. And then you see the heavy storms that are blasting through Shelbyville and into Greensburg. But tornado warning continues at this hour, and we'll watch it, because again, it's going to be crossing 69 down toward Lake Lemon. If it holds together, this will cut through Brown County and possibly near Bloomington too. That's why, though Lake Monroe is not necessarily in the tornado warning polygon, need to be on the lookout for this as we move through time here. All of us under a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 2 a.m. Possible that we could get additional tornado warnings. Right now, this is the storm of concern, as it was definitely rotating earlier when we were doing that the coverage.
The last tornado warning, and now we're still seeing that really looking like it's some decent rotation on radar.
Yeah. So yeah, it's enough that it warranted the tornado warning. Possible that this thing could, produce a tornado shortly. I have noticed that it's the rotation itself is not extremely tight right now. Not to say that could not change, but as we examine the wind shear where it is the highest, that's where it is. It's going to be crossing over I-69. And I mean, you can see that hook. Whenever we see that on a lone cell by itself on the western side of the storm axis, we do get a little bit concerned. So hopefully this thing will not produce a tornado. We have had multiple storms producing large hail today, and we've had some pockets of wind damage. So this is earlier from New Pal, and this was from Mike and New Pal as well. So these were, some of these are tennis ball sized and greater. So tornado, severe thunderstorm warning. Paragon, you're out of the risk. In my opinion, Martinsville, the worst of the hail core should stay just south of you. And Morgantown, you're going to be close enough that you may get into the hail core itself. And based on the radar trajectory, Kelly, I would assume this thing, in terms of the rotation, or if we get any wind damage, this thing may go right over top of Lake Lemon, and possibly, if it continues on that path down toward Nashville.
Yeah, and it still looks like it's getting a nice inflow, though, in that storm, allowing that rotation to take place.
Yeah, so, yeah, basically the green here is coming in toward the radar, and so then the red going away. So this is where the rotation within the storm is going to be right in that zone there.
Right, and we talk about the rotation and causing damage, but we've also had some massively sized hail, and of course we just showed some pictures, but in New Pal, another report of 3.25-inch size hail. That causes a lot of damage as well. So we're going to have a lot of insurance issues out there because of all of the damage the hail has caused. And the heavy rain, we still are going to start to see more of these training thunderstorms causing some flash flooding as well. Yeah,
so this is the swath of hail that we've seen, starting from Fishers, eastern Marion County, Hancock County, out over Geist, and then the storm that's prompted the tornado warning has a long history too. So you can see it cutting through Cloverdale, cutting into Morgan County. So that kind of gives you an idea of where the hail has been falling. Thankfully, right now, it looks like there's still some twist there.
It does look like it's weakening though a little bit.
But yeah, gradually it does look like it is showing a weakening trend, which is good news. Let's hope that is a trend that continues, as this warning is slated to expire in 15 minutes, and that may be allowed to happen a bit earlier here. Yeah, so tornado warning technically until 8:45, with Lake Lemon still in the path of this. Martinsville out of the severe thunderstorm warning now. We may get this thing changed over quickly to more of a severe thunderstorm hail core issue. For what's going on based on what I'm seeing on the radar.
Right.
Yeah.
I can hop out here and just take a wider view of radar just to kind of recap what we've got going on. Obviously, we've had a lot of severe weather all evening. Jay County actually had a tornado that touched down there, and we have all these warnings that are still issued, and these are really very heavy rainfall makers, but a lot of large hail. You can see those purple areas. That's picking up the large hail that we have within these storms, pushing off to the east southeast with very strong winds, especially on the leading edge. We haven't had as many wind reports, and that's partially because the hail likely has been really the main dominating factor within these storms. And we've had some rotation within these storms as well. And obviously this one we're still watching out for here as it moves through Morgan County, heading into Brown County. Nashville also in line with this storm, and we've seen a little bit of rotation with this, but this storm is still warned until 8:45. We have a nice inflow of those southerly winds. Really, it's tapping into all that warm, moist air, causing a little bit of that rotation within the thunderstorm, bringing in that possibility of some rotation in the upper levels that could actually really sink back down to the surface. And looking at our velocity, we know that there has been some rotation within those storms, and that is something we've been watching too. It looks like it's weakening a little bit, thankfully.
Yeah, and I think enough that we probably can, let's switch our coverage back over, I think, to Facebook Live. I think the tornado risk has diminished. Would you not agree with me on that?
Yeah, it looks like it's really falling apart at this point.
Yeah, so still going to be a severe weather producer without doubt. That hail core is going to continue cutting through Brown County. I suspect we will get additional warnings. If we see the radar pick back up in terms of spinning and rotation, we will come back on. For now, our coverage will continue on Facebook Live and YouTube, as well as the Channel 13 app. Okay. Alrighty, friends. So we're back here on Facebook Live, and the storm showing weaker rotation, but still some. Still want you kind of taking this, serious there, Lake Lemon. We still, going to get some hail out of this, Kelly.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
yes.
And it's going to be cutting right through. Maybe the core stays just north of Lake Lemon. If you're on the lake, well, you won't be on it much longer if you're there now. But and then this continues. It's feeding in from Lake Monroe too. We got a band that's pushing in there, and this is going to be moving over Nashville. So I suspect we're going to get additional warnings out of this. I have not seen anything in terms of damage, Kelly. And if you see anything on
I haven't seen
chat,
anything from the chat.
Pass it along.
So I'm going to go back here and try to.
I did get maybe you saw this, the 3 3¼ inch hail from New Pal.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find a picture on Twitter. I'll if you are listening on Facebook Live and you have a picture from New Pal, send it our way.
Okay.
At WTHRCOM on Twitter, please.
Yep. And we'll use it. So tornado warning continuing for parts of Morgan. I'll say the rotation is what's right there on the Morgan Monroe line there. North of Bloomington right now, it's not strong rotation. It seems to me, at least based on radar analysis, and I'm fine with this, but it's more of a broad rotation. If you think of a figure skater, when the arms go out, the figure skater slows down a bit. When the arms come in, they spin faster, and that's kind of how this thing is. The arms are out, if you will. I'm not seeing a real tight green, red next to each other that would catch my, could we still have some pockets of wind damage? Absolutely. But to me, it looks like the hail is going to be a big factor with this. And this shows you what's called the hail swath. And I'll put the storm reports, and you can see that this verifies certainly. I mean, look at all these, that cluster of hail there over northern Marion County, right along 465 and 69, and then on the east side had some big ones. New Pal, all kinds of large hail out of New Pal. And then this is, and Kelly, you talked about this one, the trees down, and this is Madison County. House damage near the intersection there in Markerville. Home and Maple Street.
We hate to hear that.
Yep.
It's terrible.
But what's interesting is that was part of, remember we were talking, this was, what was it, about an hour ago when we were talking about the wind potential in northern Hancock? I think that got caught up in that. I think that's probably what caused that. Let's go back an hour on this. Yep, now we're going to have to go back 2 hours. Man, my brain really is.
I know, we've been doing this for a while.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, as we look back at the radar here, there it is. That's what did the damage. We, yep, that's exactly it. If you watch the bright red, almost white, that went through Markleville, and that's what caused the damage. And that was going into today, we talked about that. Oh,
I
sorry.
was just looking because I can't see you back there.
Yeah, here, so I'll move it back, right in there. So that's around 7:14. You see that bright white?
Yes, that's incredible.
So that's the outburst. That's the straight line outburst wind that moved through. And then let's see if there's anything else.
Which really, I thought we'd see more of that today.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's what we're seeing right now in Jennings County, where they're still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 9 p.m.
That looks a pretty impressive outflow in the leading edge of that.
Yeah. So hopefully. Oh, Kelly, do me a favor. Can you hop on WeatherBug and call up and punch up our live camera in Greensburg?
I started to. I didn't see it in there immediately. I have it on here if you want to use the web
hang
one.
on
Here
here.
it is. Here's the web one. On one, Nick, if you want to pull it up.
Okay, hang on for a second.
At least that's ready. I can go on WeatherBug,
Okay.
but I've got the other one ready.
Yeah, let me know when you have that one popped up. So that's our static camera image. We have a live one here we'll pop on in just a second. So if you're just hopping on here, Facebook Live, YouTube, Channel 13 app. So tornado warning technically until 8:45. Let's see if they're going to allow that to. Yeah, they expired the warning. Okay. Law enforcement, okay, PSI, strong winds near Rush, Decatur County line. Oh, there you go. Multiple trees down in Greensburg.
Wow.
So that camera may not work. We can try it, but if they've lost power, then. All right, let me get our radar. All right. So I'm going to play the radar back, and you'll see this thing blasting through Decatur County. That was
All right,
this.
Greensburg is up.
All right, so let's go. Hang on here. We'll go to.
It's hard to tell if it's
Go to WeatherBug
stuck.
here.
It might be stuck.
Hit the space bar. Oh yeah, they've lost. I bet they've lost power.
Yeah.
Oh, go back.
Yeah, look at the Kokomo cam.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's Howard County,
Yep, just north.
and then go back. Hit it one more
Beautiful
time.
view.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, we're in Indiana.
So yeah, and if you I take the radar back here about 40, let's do 45 minutes, and this is the same cell that prompted the tornado warning in parts of Shelby County. Now it's more outflow dominant wind that's blowing out of this storm, and that's what's doing the damage, unfortunately, there in Greensburg. So they did expire the tornado warning. That should pop up here momentarily, but they allowed that one to go out. Let me see. My goodness, these pictures out of New Pal, man. My goodness gracious. Oh boy.
No, I've never seen hail like this
All
in
right.
Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, this is. All right, so let me reset. Let me get some of this. Get some of this off of the screen here. You know what? Actually, hang with me. Let me switch over because I want to show. Just bear with me for a moment here, friends. Going to. I want to put up the visible satellite with radar. And so this is kind of showing you the progression of what's happened. Let me take off the severe thunderstorm watch on this. In fact, we're doing it live, Kelly. We're doing it live.
It's all live. It's all good. No pressure.
Oh boy. Okay, so this is what I want to show. So this is the visible satellite. We're getting close to sunset, so it's not as vivid as I would like for it to be. But what you can see is that it's still 93 in Lafayette. Kokomo is clear at 88. Rain-cooled 78 in Shelbyville, and still 88 in Indianapolis. And the reason I show you this is that some areas have put a dent into what we call energy potential. A lot of areas have not, and that energy has to get used up because we've got little disturbances in the atmosphere upstream from us. And I guess another way to phrase it is that we are going to put the high-octane fuel in an Indy car, okay? These storms, when they form here later this evening and overnight, they are going to have plenty of juice. So we are unfortunately a long way from being done. The severe thunderstorm watch goes technically until 2 a.m. We've addressed the severe wind potential and the potential for rotation. We also have a flash flood watch that goes until 10 a.m. Saturday, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall on average. Locally, there may be some areas that get 4 to 5 inches or more of rain by the time we get to midday tomorrow. So we've got a lot that's going here, and then I'm going to expand the map one more time. So this is more of a regional perspective. There is not a lot of action happening upstream across Iowa and Missouri, Illinois. The thinking is that will be changing. Again, the atmosphere is still, it's got a lot of energy that is ready to release. It just needs something to kind of poke a hole in the balloon so it can just come rushing out. And so that's what's going to be happening here overnight.
Sean, I wanted to mention that sirens are going off in Monroe County on the west side of Bloomington. Obviously, we know that the tornado warning has been expired. So that might be just the emergency management saying, hey, you know what, we still think this storm is strong. Get in your safe place. We know there's a lot of lightning with it. There's a lot of hail.
On the west side of Bloomington?
But I mean, like, it doesn't really make sense actually for, if we zoom in here on Bloomington, it's not even close to Bloomington at this point.
No.
So yeah, that's a misfire on that.
If you are watching from Bloomington, if you have family, friends that are on the campus, this storm is not going into Bloomington. The storm is going to go away from Bloomington. Now, could something develop over Bloomington or to the west of Bloomington? That is a possibility. This particular storm and the only danger that I see that with Bloomington at this point in time would be lightning.
There was a storm earlier that moved through there, so I'm not sure if it's just like it was an old, something old they were looking at.
Yeah, well, so we're going. I'm back at 8:15.
Yeah.
When did they go off, by the way?
This just came down at 8:42, so it might either been a mistake or just a late fire of the sirens, but.
Okay.
We also have some video from Edinburgh, Sean. So
yeah, this is that's Michael. That was from earlier.
Yeah, 8:05, I believe.
Yeah, and that's from Michael Moss. He sent that tweet to me, and I appreciate the crew getting that thing turned around for us. So that was a lowering near Edinburgh earlier this evening. I'm sorry. What did you say on the time stamp? That was at 8:05. Okay, let me take the radar back. I always like to do a comparison here. So, and that was with this particular storm. Yeah. So I think Michael was on the one there. Yeah. All right. So again. Let me get back to real time here.
Yeah, even on the Facebook chat, they're saying Bloomington sirens still going off, starting again about 5 minutes ago.
I mean, to me, okay, all right.
We appreciate you guys letting us know what's going on out there.
I mean, I personally think it's going to go east of Bloomington. When you said west of Bloomington.
Yeah.
But to me, this seems like it's going to go east. and away. And we try to do our best not to, the Weather Service definitely without overwarning. So now, with that said, certainly Brown County, Nashville, Lake Lemon, not under the warning. And there's bean blossom. Let me turn the lightning off. We know these are big lightning producers, but there's the wind. Oh boy, was that fireworks or was that?
I think that
was that
might
a
have
pop
been
of thunder out
fireworks.
there? Okay, good night.
Downtown
All right.
Indianapolis.
Now, it does look like there is. Let me play the radar back here. It does look like there's some rotation. Hey, look, it's
Some
possible.
new rotation.
There, it's possible they have their own spotters that are out, maybe seeing a lowering. It just, to me, appears. To me, it appears it's going to go east of Bloomington.
Now Jared says the whole county sirens go off no matter where the storm is.
If it's in Monroe County? Okay.
And that's fair too. I mean, every emergency manager has their own rules for their county. They may just do it for tornado warnings. Others do it for both tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. It's kind of dependent on the county.
Okay. All right, so there's, all right.
Andrea is in Bloomington right now. She's,
right,
she said she's down in her basement. She's really frustrated, hunkered down in her basement.
All right, so here, again, if you're in Bloomington, in my opinion, the worst of this is going to be east.
Correct. I
Okay.
agree with you.
All right, so now here's what's going on.
We've got a new warning though.
Yes.
For Brown County, not for Monroe.
For Brown
to
and
be
parts
clear.
for parts of Brown and Bartholomew. And that is going to be for wind and hail. All right. We have emergency manager Greensburg got rocked. That's why our live camera's not working in there. Decatur County reporting widespread trees down northeast part of the county, and a roof reported off of a building, and flash flooding in addition. And that's with this storm. We still have the rest of the night and into tomorrow morning to go. You know what? Let's do this. Let me turn off the storm reports here, and then let's do the rainfall. Oh, goodness. So these are radar rain estimates. I'm going to take the warnings off here. These are radar rain estimates. Now, some of these may be ballooned a little bit by large hail. But, yeah, there's a flood warning now in effect for Decatur County until 2 a.m. So that's going to be the first of many, unfortunately, flood warnings that we're going to see here between now and tomorrow morning. All right, let's get the warnings back on. We still have the tornado watch technically that includes Richmond and Connorsville. That goes until 11 p.m. And then you're not seeing it. Hang on, and I'll pop it back on. I wanted to clean up the radar a little bit. So this is the severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 2 a.m. Okay, that includes Indy, does not include Lafayette. We're going to have to wait and watch to see where this next batch of storms form. It will probably be more, these were a little more scattered, if you will. What we're expecting later tonight is going to be almost in a northwest to southeast line. May actually take the 74 path here. So, but here you go. Again, Bloomington, this is moving. I'm going to take the radar back 15 minutes. This is moving away from you, generally.
We have a spotter report from Lake Lemon, nickel-size hail.
Okay, so that gives us an idea of what the radar. So nickel size in Lake Lemon. All right. So
I
again,
also pulled up this picture that we had from Facebook. Rebecca Elkins. This
My
is
goodness.
on 1. Nick, New
Ouch.
Pal, unbelievable.
ouch.
I mean, there are just no
Wow.
words for that.
baseball, and I'm telling you, yeah. I mean that'll shatter windows right there. That'll shatter windows. That'll total a car.
That could physically hurt somebody that's outside.
Oh, absolutely. Quick story. This was 1997, Louisville, Kentucky. My dad got hit by a baseball stone, and it did cut his head.
Oh my gosh.
Again, those will travel toward, the baseball-sized stone travels toward the ground at 100 miles per hour. All right, so here's what's going on. We've got we've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me just highlight areas that are not. So basically, this whole area north of that line, so Hope, you're fine. Greenwood, Whiteland, right now you're fine. And then Brown County is in the thick of it. Greensburg in the thick of it. And let me take this. Let me try to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to take the radar. Let me go back about a half an hour with this, Kelly.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, so look at you can see that wind peaking right through Decatur County, and now blasting southeast. So what we're going to have to pay attention to is we're still seeing. It's not a real tight rotation, but there still is a little rotation there, not far from Nashville. So keep me updated on Bloomington. Look, I mean, we'll have to wait and see whether or not the storm, the outflow of the storm back builds, and could you get something to pop over Bloomington? I guess that's a possibility. But right now, that particular storm is moving away.
Right. Just another report of a mix of nickel and quarter-size hail over Lake Lemon.
All right, wait a minute. Can you hop into? Oh boy, hop into Slack.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The windows burst.
Yeah,
I've got.
yeah.
I'm working on one.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So that we talked about it. That's Community North parking lot.
Yeah.
Kelly's going to get that turned around for us here real quickly, and. I'm just looking through Twitter feed here too. Modest clouds everywhere. Oh boy, windshield, both of her cars. Good night. I hate to see this, man. And I can't stress it enough, friends. I mean, this is so basically what we're going to end up dealing with is multiple. Each phase of the next 12 plus hours is going to be different. These cells are a little more individual, what we call supercells. Those are the big hail producers. And then once we get into the next phase, it becomes potentially more of a widespread wind threat in addition to the flash flooding threat. We have a long way to go. I mentioned the severe thunderstorm watch that you're seeing with the cities in yellow, counties in yellow, goes until 2 a.m. I suspect the severe threat is going to go into early Saturday morning. There's still a little uncertainty on the evolution of whether or not the axis of storms will be south of the metro area by, say, 4 or 5 a.m. versus 8 or 9 a.m. Both of those are still on the table. But right now, this is, I'm going to take off the severe thunderstorm watch just to clean up the look here a little bit. And boy, that is a healthy supercell. Nashville is getting crushed with hail right now. Nashville's getting crushed with hail. And let me, well, we're going to have to watch the rotation on this. I wouldn't be shocked, Kelly, if maybe we end up getting a tornado warning.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be close. Either way, I would say this: if you've got, if you got friends on Lake Monroe or you live around Lake Monroe, keep it indoors. This thing may try to go, may eventually try to go a little more south, and it could still spark a new storm down that way. But right now, severe thunderstorm warning, most of Brown County. including Nashville. That is large hail that's over Nashville right now. That is definitely large hail that's moving in. Oops, sorry. Yeah, they're getting hit pretty well. So we'll keep an eye on that, just like before when it was in Morgan County, that western flank of the storm. You can see that hook on radar. I'm going to do a 30-minute lapse here, 5-minute intervals. And so there you go. We've got additional storms that
grab these pics.
That are popping up too. Oh boy, don't like that at all. Greensburg got blasted. So sounds like a lot of trees down there. Large hail that cut through Shelby County. Brown County in the mix of this. Seymour, if you are down there. And Columbus, keep an eye on this storm too. We got I mean, that is a supercell storm. And those are the storms that can rotate. Those are the storms that can produce the large hail, and that's what's happening right now over Brown County. Take a look at our, okay, pop it up there. Oh, nope, sorry. It's close to being ready. Oh, man.
I'm having problems because they're not sent as JPEGs.
Oh, you doing a screen grab?
Yeah, I just did a screen grab on here, so it's not pretty. But
there are modest clouds everywhere. Greenfield,
wow.
Fishers. I'm just going to retweet them. And we appreciate you guys hanging with us here this evening as we do our balancing act. And I appreciate our crews too. All right, yeah, it looks like we got all kinds of Lake Lemon, 1 inch. I wonder if that is going to get a little bit larger there. Well, I just don't like this look of that hook near the western side of. Yeah, this is close. This is close. Let's see if this is similar to what. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for the short term, Indy okay. Looks like we've had a, speaking of outflow boundaries, so a lot of times, I'm going to get in closer with the radar here. There's a little line, see that little blue line that's blowing north? So that's the rain-cooled air from the storm south that's now gone through downtown Indy, and that's heading up toward Zionsville and Fishers. Sometimes that rain-cooled outflow can be the trigger. So we'll see here in the next half hour to 45 minutes if that will then, like the dominoes here, set off new storms, and those things go crazy. You know, I was telling our crews earlier, whatever pops will go big quick. And so now we got a new storm there near Cloverdale. And then we have the one that's over Nashville. And that is producing, yeah, just about a given it's producing severe hail. Definitely producing hail.
Speaking of hail, I've got a couple of those pictures ready. I don't know if they want to pull this up.
Yeah, pop it up. Love to see it.
It's Community North parking lot. Kyle Thomas of Fishers took these pictures, I believe.
Good friend of the show, Kyle.
Yeah, good friend of the show. Community North parking lot.
Oh, man.
Again, so unfortunately, those people that were there in that parking lot coming out to their car, finding a very bad experience.
My goodness.
And just to play through some of these,
yes,
this one
please.
was said from Randy Buckby from Oak Landon. Very large hail in his hand there, likely ping pong size hail, as well as Fall Creek area. Phil Burton sent this one in. Another large hail piece, you can see even the rings in that from Joseph Luttrell from Castleton Square area. And this one, Susan Batt, another friend of the show, These are smaller, a little larger than pea size. And actually, the next one shows the quarter that she has near it. So you can see it was at least quarter size hail. It helps when you put some kind of a dimension next to your hailstone so we can really get a good idea of how big it is. And this one from Mike from New Pal, huge, huge hailstones there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the ones sent in. My goodness. Yep.
I'm going to pull up those Momentus ones.
You know, let's do this too. Let me.
The Greensburg camera is clearing out a little bit.
Let me. So I want to. You know. Okay. So I want to expand the live Doppler 13 radar here because now we need to look upstream in anticipation for this next round. And let me bear with me, friends. Appreciate you. So we're starting to see some new storm development near Springfield, Illinois, and I suspect it's just a matter of where all does this take place here. And there's going to be a really fine line for our northern viewing area. So Peru, which got hit earlier today, and Marion, it's possible, can't guarantee it, but it's possible this may stay just to your south. But again, there's going to be a fine line across the northern part of the state where there will not be another drop of rain tonight, or there will be 2 or 3 inches of rain. So there's going to be a really sharp cutoff, but we're going to look up to the west and northwest here. With this setup. Not seeing anything now other than what's happening in Springfield. And you can see the hail reports. Let me switch radar here. Yeah. Let's get back to the brief. So you can see hail report. I'll have to go back, Kelly, and dig through this again, but yeah, it has been a long time around the metro area for hail like this. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was either 04 or 05. We had back-to-back supercells that came in from the northwest, and went right across Marion County, and both storms went over almost the same place. And it ended up being the costliest storm of the year, that particular year. So, obviously this has hit some populated areas, and Kyle's showing you, this, yeah.
This is a storm we're going to be talking about for months.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a long process when you start talking about replacing roofs and the amount of car damage that occurred with this. So I'm showing you the storm reports with current radar, taking the storm reports off now, and want to get back into this storm that's just dropping the hail core over Nashville. So this will be interesting to see what type of reports that we get out of Brown County. We had at least 1 inch diameter over Lake Lemon, and now that storm is sitting on top of Brown County. Let's get back to I want to examine the wind velocity with this. And the rotation is weak, thankfully, but there is some. There is some on that southwestern corner, just south of Nashville. That's near Belmont, northeast, not far, but close, northeastern portion of Lake Monroe there. But we're not getting a ton of wind shear with it right now, and I'm okay if it stays that way. But that's the severe thunderstorm warning for right now. In addition to that, so these are the radar rain estimates from today. Now, again, some of these will get, the radar sees hailstones, and it kind of balloons the radar rain estimate because of that. But there's no doubt that we had some very heavy rain. We've got the flood warning that's going on right now in Decatur County. In fact, let me pop that one on. Well, or is it a flood advisory?
Oh.
Oh, well, I do want to put, and we got the first of what will probably be many flash flood warnings down across this far southeastern corner of the state. So let's go back to, yeah, and if you're just hopping in here, so this is from New Pal earlier today. That's about a 3-inch diameter size stone there. Here's another, that's the one that Kelly was showing. So just we'll go over the sizes, non-severe versus severe. So when you get into 3-inch, you're talking baseball. Now that report we had recently over Lake Lemon was 1 inch, and that's when it becomes technically severe, which is quarters. But we have had, I've seen a bunch of ping pongs and golf balls, and unfortunately, where was the baseball one you had, Kelly, again?
New Pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Pal. I can pull that up again. It's ready if you want to take a look at it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unbelievable from Rebecca Elkins in New Pal. And that's why it really helps if you have, something to measure it up against that we can really get a good feel of how big it is. It's massive, a baseball-sized hail. We also have another friend of the show, Matt Wisner.
Thank you, Matt.
Mammatus clouds in Carmel. And here's a zoomed-in picture of those clouds. They're just more depicative of that we're seeing those little pouches of cold air.
Yep. So here's something that's interesting to me. All right, so pop up the radar, Nick, if you can, on links 2. So remember I was talking about the rain-cooled outflow coming north. Well, it's now 79 in Indy. It's still 90 in Lafayette. It's still 84 in Kokomo, and still near 90 in Terre Haute, where the atmosphere has not been turned over, and the atmosphere still has a lot to give to the storms. Bless you. As we go through the overnight. So this is the severe outlook that goes into tomorrow morning. Okay, and actually, let me expand this, and this is just one particular model product that we're using. Just gives you a hint. And so one thing, and don't focus necessarily on the exact location, but it's the evolution of the cells that are modeled. And we talked a little bit ago about storms back building in this atmosphere. And if you see that particular, you see it's almost stationary, but it continues to build back west, southwest. So that's what's going to be unfolding here as we go through the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. And that's why the flash flood risk is going to be very high. The atmosphere is extremely saturated. There's tropical moisture over us. And I mentioned the sharp cutoff of whether or not our northern area will get into the action later tonight. It's tough. It's a tough call at this point. All of us are at risk well into tomorrow morning. So this is one particular model version. This is at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we show you this to say, hey, stay weather aware. And that's why we're here to keep up the coverage. And voila, new severe thunderstorm warning that includes. Well, that looks familiar.
Yep.
Paragon and Martinsville.
As we mentioned, the training thunderstorms moving over the same areas, just pounding those areas with heavy rain.
Oh, okay. Now we've got so they did go tornado warning. Okay.
Oh, for Brown.
This goes until 9:30. So it's for that area of rotation.
Yep. Well, what do you think, Sean?
I think we.
I can call Jeff.
Yeah, we can also we can do a pop in over there and come back onto. So well, first of all, for our Facebook and YouTube.
Pop me down really quick.
So this is tornado warning near Nashville, includes Camp Roberts and includes Lake on the Green. does not technically include Story. And so looks like the rotation is State Road 135 south. So right now, downtown Nashville, the rotating part of the storm is going to stay to the south of you, okay? If you're in southern Brown County, southeastern Brown County, it's a lot of wooded area down there, but tornado warning until 9:30. So it's a quick tornado warning that goes for another 15 minutes. So I think we can hop on, Kelly, and yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll hop on and then we'll get back to. But if you're watching in that area, if you got some friends that are down there, if you know, just hopefully they're getting the warnings. But if you know, just check on them. But again, the downtown Nashville area, the warning is going to be just south. Okay. All right, we're going to do a quick cut in here on U.S. Open, and we'll be right back. Hey everyone, this is Live Doppler 13 meteorologist Sean Ashaw. Once again, a new tornado warning has been issued. This includes a small portion of Brown County, south of Nashville, by the way. And this warning goes until 9:30, so you don't have to worry about a tornado in Nashville. Just south of Camp Roberts and nearing Story, and eventually nearing Bucks Grove. This warning goes until 9:30. There's radar rotation in the area, nothing confirmed at this point in time, but we are watching it. So again, a tornado warning, parts of Brown County, just south of downtown Nashville, that goes until 9:30. We're going to go back over to Facebook Live. We will continue to update. Please stay weather aware. We will keep you updated. Okay. Alrighty, friends. All right, so again, tornado warning for that cell. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning that includes Martinsville and Paragon. And we're getting some of the same radar signatures that we've had from earlier that produced the large hail. In addition to this, this is the second storm that has impacted Morgan and Owen counties. So each passing storm ups the odds of flooding. And then as we talked about the tornado warning, and Kelly, if you see anything tweeted your way, let me know. Tornado warning for this small chunk of Brown County here. As I look at the shear rate, there's nothing real significant. There is a little bit of rotation within this storm.
There's a report in Paragon of thunderstorm damage at 8:13, so that's
and that's with the storm
now.
From earlier. Yeah.
So this is the next storm system moving in. They've already had over an inch of rain, it sounds like there, and now they're 1 inch of rain measured in 5 minutes, according to one of the reporting stations, Westgate of Brown County State Park.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Repeat that again. I apologize.
That 1 inch of rain measured in 5 minutes was from Westgate.
Okay, Westgate. All right. Yep. So heavy rain, we know that. I'm looking at the shear detector with that storm. It's nothing, blowing me away right now. No pun intended. Still, take your precautions. Doesn't mean that something could not develop quickly. Okay. This is a highly wooded area. We know that. But heads up there in Story. Okay, Christiansburg. And you see that shade of green there. You mentioned the West Overlook.
The Westgate, of Brown County State Park.
I apologize.
That's okay.
The West, Westgate. And there's the North Lookout. So there you go. I mean, they got clocked with rain and hail there. Want you to watch this one in Seymour and watch this one in Brownstown as it moves your way. We probably will get some additional warnings with it. To me, the wind threat is over for Decatur County. anything but over across southeast Indiana. And then as we get into over here in Morgan County, yeah, we've got some shear working here, definitely. And just like the other storm, oh boy, there's some big, yeah, the radar is showing that Martinsville is getting hit with big hail. Tell the desk to keep an eye out on that. That's yeah, this looks like New Pal to me. That purple and the black on the radar.
Yikes.
Yeah, this is going to be a big hailer over Martinsville. There you go. Oh boy. Let's see what we got. It's not even, yeah. The likelihood of hail is about 100%.
Yeah.
That's basically what it's saying. When we show you that, that says, yeah, about 100% that you're going to get hail from that. And let's see here. These are what we call storm skits. Shows the tops here. Yeah. Oh, look at the hail size. The radar estimating over 3-inch hail. So we will see if that all gets to the ground. If so, man, that's bad news for Martinsville. That's going to be some big, big hail. Let me clear this up. Sorry, friends. So severe thunderstorm warning. They're going to have to expand. I believe that warning is going to have to expand eastward based on the radar here. So I would say heads up in Morgantown, heads up in Adams, Trafalgar perhaps. This may build toward you with large hail potential. And it's also, as we've talked about, it's also building backwards or to the west. So this is going to put more of Owen County in play here. We'll see if we'll have to keep an eye out on rotation.
Report of golf ball size hail, Lake Edgewood and State Road 67 north of Martinsville. Obviously that's from earlier this evening, but the hail reports still keep coming in.
Oh, wait a minute, is that from, that might be from now. That's a current report, yeah.
Ah.
That's
My apologies.
golf ball. That's, yeah, no.
Wow.
So that verifies what we were showing here. Yeah, that's
Oh
with
my
the,
goodness.
yeah, that's with the, right there in live up, right there in the radar, right in this zone here is where we're getting the large hail report. And then the tornado warning continues for that chunk of Brown County down here. There's still some radar rotation. It's not strong, but it's still there. So Story, and again, this is a lot of woods down here. We know that, but Story, Christiansburg, Becks Grove, Buffalo, and then working southward, we're eventually going to get, if this storm holds together, which I suspect that it's going to, heads up there in Seymour as well as Brownstown. But that's, you're probably talking half an hour away.
Another report of golf ball size hail in Morgan County, northwest of Martinsville, 1.75 inch size hail.
Gosh. Can you take the wheel for a second, Cal? I'm just going to try to tweet this picture out.
Yeah, jump to one again. I'll go back to analysis. I'm working on a couple photos.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Let's go back. Just to kind of go back over here, taking a wider view, put the 30 minutes on here. These have been just massively moving quickly. We have some flash flood, aerial flood warnings. We're likely going to see some flash flood warnings. We do have a flash flood watch in effect for most of central Indiana until 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll go ahead and pause this again and take a look at the velocity here on this storm. And I'm on IND. It looks like we're not seeing a whole lot on here. I don't know if you were examining that too much here with the rotation, but not seeing a lot on here. But nonetheless, likely seeing some rotation with this on base velocity. You can see a little bit of this. Well, it doesn't look really strong. However, it is here. We look for the reds and the greens, ingoing and outgoing winds to the radar, picking up the very strong winds, rotating with that. I'll go ahead and turn off some of this so we can actually look at some of the wind speeds. I'll query this one, 16 mile per hour wind, 7 mile per hour wind, so it's not super strong, but nonetheless, it could be a lower grade tornado, but nonetheless, it looks like there is some rotation within this storm. Severe relative velocity not showing a lot, but go back and take a look at this hail swath, since that seems to be the biggest parameters of these storms. If I can query these as well, the ones in Martinsville. No, they're not going to query for me. Hold on, let's see. I couldn't get this to query earlier today either. But we've already had reports, we know of these reports of golf ball size hail with these storms in Martinsville, and you can see how it's just continued to move south into Brown County with the new development of these storms, which is what we expected with the training storms. And I'll put this back in motion here. You can see, let me clear those off. That new development, which we expect to continue to happen, that was just south of Putnam County, moved into Morgan County, and heading back into Brown County.
All right.
Eventually, this will move into Brown County.
Oh man, that thing is just.
Heading
All
back
right.
south.
All right, yeah, so, yeah, I was just tweeting out our quick radar picture. All right, so you can hop me up if you can. And this, so what you're going to see here, and it's going to pop up, there it goes. So they expanded the, if you can hop to 2, that'd be awesome. They expanded the severe thunderstorm warning, as we were talking, it probably would happen, for parts of Morgan and Johnson County, and it's for that hail. So heads up, Trafalgar, Morgantown, Bargersville, New Whiteland, and possibly Franklin. It looks like this thing's going to, it's expanding to the east. And
Kind of changing, it's shifting a bit.
10:15. So I'm gonna do a half-hour lapse of this. Let's watch this thing transpire. Again, the atmosphere, again, highly volatile. Just needed a spark, and it got it. And so watch. So we're just playing through time, and then see it's expanding rapidly to the east and dropping the hail that Kelly had talked about. We've got over an inch diameter that went through Martinsville, and now that's what's going into, going to be working through, it's over Cope now, heading toward Bud and Providence and Mount Pleasant. So, going to be blasting right into Johnson County. And let's see if there's any, and there's probably going to be some pockets of severe wind gusts with it in addition. And then I assume
Okay, the tornado warning has been expired for Brown. It did look like it was weakening quite a bit, but obviously the hail is definitely the main factor right now.
Yeah, the hail's still an issue down there. The shear rate, we talked about that. And there's the hail detector. So it goes from possible to yes, that's hail. When you see that dark black shade, that the radar is basically saying yes, 100% chance of hail. And if you haven't been following us, or if you have, you know that the purples and blacks on the radar this evening have been with the largest hail that we've had. In most cases, not all, but in most cases.
Lauren asks, where is the Martinsville storm heading?
It's actually moving east-southeast. And I tell you, this storm down here is showing quite a hook. That Brown County storm still showing quite a hook. So
Yeah, it is. Wow.
I know. That's why I was saying heads up in Seymour, heads up in Brownstown.
And that polygon is barely covering the severe
It's ro-
thunderstorm of it.
it's rotating. It's rotating. It's rotating broadly, but it is definitely rotating.
It still has plenty from the south of inflow on the southern edge of that.
Yeah, so when I'm looking, we're looking for the reds and greens next to each other tightly. And brighter. The brighter the color, the stronger the wind. And, again, right now, it's more of a broad rotation, but there's definitely some rotation in addition to the hail threat that it's posing. So more than likely, we're going to get severe thunderstorm warning.
Naptown Jackson just mentioned golf ball size hail near the high school in Martinsville. That was about 6 minutes ago.
Golf ball, yep. All right, remember we talked about that? There you go.
Yep.
Boom. So now that hail core is sliding east and right along State Road 44. Let me turn the lightning off. So right along State Road 44. And going to put it into Mount Pleasant and Trafalgar here in the next, I'd say, next 15 minutes. If you're outside, if you can, get those cars in as much as you can. So we've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me do a radar lapse here. You can see that storm that's in Morgan County and Johnson County, that western flank, Kelly. Look how it's building back. It's building back to the west. And then the storm
Just exactly what you had forecasted earlier this evening. You knew it was going to start.
It's starting, we're starting to see that, and that is what really, again, when we say all modes of severe weather are in play, that's what's happening here. So we are going to.
And they're just exploding as they just push east and west. They're just tapping into all of the juicy environment we have.
Yeah. And we're starting to see some additional. Let me call up Central Illinois radar. Yeah, so we're starting to see action over here in Illinois, and even farther to the northwest. So yeah, we got a lot. It's going to be a long night. Going to be a long night. Let me go back to.
While you're pulling that up, I can show some pictures that were from Twitter from Officer Josh Stevenson.
Sure.
He's from Portland, Indiana, and he took some pictures from Northeast Jay County. So, Nick, if you could pull up one, I have some of these photos that he tweeted out and said we had permission to use. Just some incredible views of some damage there. In Northeast Jay County, you can see the destruction of a barn and a home there with the pond in the background, and a lot of people out there are just, observing what happened. Unfortunately, we know that that area is populated with a lot of farms, but there are people who live there too. Here's another view of another home, again, also taken by Officer Stevenson. Another roof ripped off, and honestly, just a lot of destruction through that area. And hopefully their crops are okay with the tornado damage that moved through there. And here's just another view of this home and barn, this farm that has been hit by a tornado. And you can see the roof on the ground there from that view on the left-hand side of the home. Just the destruction that caused from that rotation. We know that we have had some strong winds out of these storms, regardless if they were tornadic or if they were straight line winds. But hail has also been a huge damaging factor out of these storms tonight.
Yep. Yeah, large hail. Yeah, just, I mean, the atmosphere has, we always say it has potential. Sometimes you don't know if that potential is going to materialize or not. So to reset the stage, what's happening in the immediate. So we have new severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Owen as well as Monroe counties. Severe thunderstorm warning. Let me get that out of there. That goes until 10:15, and that's part of the same storm. Morgantown reporting golf ball sized. So we are getting we are getting all kinds of hail out of this storm. And that's one thing that has surprised me a little bit, just how much. Stand by here, so let's do, yeah, so there's the pockets of hail. That's going to be part of the storm that's dipping into Monroe County. All right, so that's our tower. Which way are we pointing? I'm assuming south. Yeah, so south, southeast on that. All right. Yeah, so yeah, it's picking up on those storms. And that's the other thing with these storms. You know, you've got the lightning threat, you've got the flooding rain threat, you've got the large hail threat, you got damaging wind. And as we have noticed, some of these storms have been rotating too. Now, in this particular setup, the tornado threat, in terms of widespread impact, is going to be highly localized. Everyone, the hail, the flooding rain, that's going to, hit a lot of people, in addition to the severe wind threat. So, I know tornadoes get the headline sometimes, and sometimes it's indeed warranted, but this is, the other threats are going to be way more widespread than maybe just a sporadic tornado. And that's what we had with what Kelly was showing from Jay County. But when we look back tomorrow at the storm reports, how many hail reports we're going to see on the map and flooding reports, that is going to cover a lot of real estate. So severe thunderstorm warnings here. These are south of Indy for now. Let me speed up this lapse here, take off the timestamp. But this is blasting through Johnson County. So we had the tornado warning earlier for Brown County, and now we've got the new severe thunderstorm warning, as we were thinking, for Seymour and Brownstown. Severe thunderstorm warning. So you're going to get hail out of this. Let's go back to the, there's a pretty good shot of hail with this moving into Seymour. And let me look at our wind product here. And there's some rotation. There's definitely some rotation with this. And that's around the hook. Not strong, but it might be enough that we get a new tornado warning out of this, and that would be for Jackson County if it happens. Let me call up our stuff. Oh, our WeatherBug camera is back up. Is that the static or is that the live, Kelly?
I think that's live, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's working now.
All right, so that's our camera. That's our camera in Decatur County, where they just got pasted, unfortunately, tonight. So this is downtown tower camera looking south. This is our north side camera. This is the camera on Morse Lake. Right now, quiet as a mouse up there. And this is the camera from Carmel. All right, so we will watch this one closely, and hopefully if you've been watching with us, excuse me, in Seymour, as well as, and so this is south of Nashville. Nashville actually in between storms, but going to get hit again. Yeah, going to get hit again here. And Johnson County, can't say it enough, Trafalgar, hopefully you had a chance to watch us, and heads up in Franklin, heads up in Bargersville. Let me take this radar back just so we can see how where the heaviest stuff. It's going to come close to Franklin. They may have to issue a new warning a little farther east. And if I were in Franklin, and if I could, I would try to get my car covered just in case, because this is going to come really close, I believe. And this just gives you an idea of how it's moving, the hail core. So that's going to come really close to Franklin. All right. And then if you're just I've had a few people, I don't know if they're watching, but I had a few on Twitter asking about, hey, what about the rest of tonight? So again, this is Future Track 13, but roughly the next 15 hours. Look at the timestamp there. So we got more storms that are going to linger into Saturday morning. And then we will likely see some additional storms Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. I'm not anticipating as widespread, but still potentially severe tomorrow, too. So it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to have to remain weather aware tonight. Make sure you have the weather radio. Make sure, if you hopefully you have our app on your phone, and make sure you have your notifications. If you're going to get them through the phone, make sure those notifications are turned on for your area. And still got that nasty storm, I'm telling you, there on that Brown and Jackson County line, man. That is going to be a hail producer down there. Let's see here. I don't know if you've seen anything, Kelly. No, let's see.
Oh, just more golf ball size hail in Morgan County. 1.75 inches.
Yep. And man, a lot of mimosas clouds. Yeah, so we've got, right now we got 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. And then we've got a lot of people up to the north saying, what are you talking about here? What's going on? Yeah, we know. You may have to wait your turn up there. And then we got the flash flooding that's going on, the tornado watch that goes technically till 11 for those eastern counties, and we've got the severe thunderstorm watch until 2. And we still have the storm that's over Johnson County now with, at minimum, 1.25 inch sized hail. So larger than quarters with that storm. I think that's what we were having. We had golf ball out of Morgantown roughly about 10 minutes ago. And then looks like to me we're staring down some large hail there over Gosport. So we'll have, if you're in Bloomington, watch that storm carefully for large hail potential. And because it's on the far western flank, let's see, if we're getting, yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of rotation too starting to show up there, Kelly. Just a little bit. Yeah, right there, along 231. So we'll have to watch that. Okay. Again, within an environment that's still, I know it's getting close to 10 o'clock here.
Normally, once we have the sun setting, we start to destabilize a bit, and hopefully things start to calm down. But that's just not going to be the case tonight. At least
yeah,
for
I'm looking at
I'm
looking at some parameters down there, and to me, it still suggests that we could get some rotation in some of these storms, at least in the short term. I do think we're going to transition to this is going to be a big flood deal tonight. There's going to be a big problem as we go through the overnight. But we're watching this one for you, friends. Got some rotation there near Spencer. So heads up, Ellettsville, Lake Lemon, and still have the, it's broad rotation there that's moving into Jackson County now, but broad. And then we've got the severe thunderstorm warning that's in place for hail, and that warning, and in fact, the hail core right now to me is outside of starting to get outside of the polygon, so they may have to extend it a little farther east into Johnson County. At any rate, heads up there, south of Franklin. Amity, you're going to have some hail come your way. And then as you travel toward the east-southeast, so heads up there. that northern portion of Bartholomew County too. Man, that is an impressive looking hook, Kelly, there
Oh my gosh.
on that cell.
Unbelievable.
That's moving into Jackson County right now. And still a big hail producer too with this one. Martinsville, the threat of hail right now, Martinsville is over. You're still in the rain. Let's see here. I haven't had to look at the lightning in a while. So you're definitely going to have some rumbles of thunder. We're now getting into this waiting pattern in the metro area. And when I say waiting, this is what we're going to be waiting on over here. We're going to have to get the storms developing up across northern Illinois, and then those will track east and southeast as we go through the rest of tonight. And we're going to have, it's going to be a loud night. It's going to be a loud night. And these storms over here are producing severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So.
Yeah, I can take the wheel for a moment if you want to take a little breather.
Yeah, I think I need one.
I think you do. Okay.
I'm gonna try to grab some water.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
I appreciate your help there, Kelly. Thank you.
No, thank you. All right, so I'll go ahead and take over on one here, guys, or maybe I could just switch with. Yeah, let's go ahead and just stay with the slideshow there, Nick. Thank you. So this is the Jay County Sheriff Facebook page that we've got permission to share, and unbelievable damage here. This is where we had the tornado that went through a little after 4 o'clock this afternoon, and this is from the Jay County Sheriff Facebook page. Let me go back and then let's take a look at that Greensburg camera now. Things are starting to calm down, but likely going to see more of that ramping right back up again. So let me show you another picture here from the Jay County Sheriff's Facebook page. This one also showing just a lot of destruction. Another farm here with the home in the foreground and the trees. You can see how they're snapped, and the crumbling of probably a silo there in the foreground as well. National Weather Service will likely be going out there and checking out the damage to confirm what type of tornado it was, if it was an EF0 up to EF5. So that's what they'll be looking at when they take a look at the damage on those storms that move through. And the National Weather Service here in Indianapolis had a conference call earlier today and said they're going to be here all weekend to help because they knew there's going to be a lot of storm damage to have to go look at. Here's another view from another barn with a car that was inside the barn there. You can see the damage, the collapsed roof there, again from rotational damage from a tornado. Here's another view of another, could be farm, maybe garage there in the background, likely a farm there again in Jay County. A little tough to tell. You can see all the fiberglass insulation there in the foreground as well. Just a collapsed building, unbelievable. Could be some higher damage with that. We looked at some of the mammatus clouds earlier. Those really depict the little cold pouches of air dropping down in the clouds. And taking a look at live Doppler 13 radar. Again, we have still severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect. We don't have any tornado warnings in effect right now. And I'm going to skip through a couple of these because some of these are old, but I'm going to jump to the fact that we still have the severe outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, where Indianapolis is in that threat of severe weather and in a number 3 level. So the Storm Prediction Center had already been covering the fact that we were likely going to see some strong storms. Hail was also part of it, but they actually were depicting us to be higher in the wind category, and saying that we could see about a 75-mile-per-hour wind within any 25-mile radius within that orange area. So that's pretty significant. Now I'll move on to this radar here. This is, let me see if I can back this up for you a little bit. Back up the time frame. I guess we're already at 9:30, good grief. As I go ahead and pause this as we shift through here, we do expect to see more of these storms initiating, and we could still see a little farther north of the metro area. So it's not out of the question that areas along Crawfordsville, Noblesville, Muncie line could see more of these storms building back in again. We're already seeing them back building off to the west in this case. And even at 2 o'clock Saturday morning, we could still see some more of these storms developing and pushing farther to the east southeast. And heavy rainfall definitely going to be a major concern with these storms. As we start to lose more of the instability during the overnight, we'll start to calm the atmosphere down a bit. Thank you. But heavy rain is going to be a main issue with flash flood possible into the morning hours, which we do have a flash flood watch in effect from Indianapolis. And it does include most of central Indiana, so this is in effect until 10 a.m. And we've already seen some heavy downpours, reports of 1 inch in 5 minutes. And so that 1 to 3 inches, not hard to come by. And localized, some of these heavier downpours, we could easily see 4 to 5 inches of rain out of these storms. So throughout the overnight tonight, we're still going to see those mild temperatures. It's still going to be warm and muggy as we go into the overnight. Temperatures will continue to fall into the low 70s, but right now you can see some really cool lightning there in the background from our downtown cam, really looking to the south at the storms. Just on a different note, you may have heard of heat lightning. That's really not what that is. It's actually real lightning from storms that are just farther south. You can't hear the thunder, but we have the lightning that is down there. Let me go ahead and pass through this one here again. We still have, I'm going to go back into analysis page since we've gone through the forecast. And zooming back out, I'll go ahead and put the watches and the warnings back on, or at least the warnings here. And check out this rotation that Sean was looking at within this storm system that's moving towards Seymour. And I will pause this. And we're still seeing a nice inflow within this storm. So getting some nice southerly moist air moving into this, and it's just kind of helping rotate this area. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we have the rotation. So take a look at this, but at the area that I just circled, you can see we have a little bit more of that tight couplet that we look for. I'll zoom in here a little closer so you can see here. Spraytown, this is an area that may see some rotation out of this. Certainly not confirmed, but radar is showing that we're getting farther away from the radar, so it's starting to look up farther into the atmosphere. It's not looking in the lower levels, unfortunately, because we're getting farther away from the Indianapolis radar, which is right up here on the outskirts of 465. So the farther away we get, the more the radar beam is actually looking into the storm. So this might be too far up to actually make its way to the ground, but nonetheless, we're still seeing some rotation within that. So if you are in the Spraytown area, do be aware of that. And Cortland, Hangman Crossing, New Elizabethtown, and Seymour is likely going to see some heavy hail. So let me put the reflectivity back on that. Yeah, look at those hail. Radar depicting a lot of hail out of these storms. I'll take a look at the hail swath here. So you can see it's just immense with these, especially the blacks that we've already had in Morgan County, the golf ball size hail. Just incredible size hail tonight with these storms. In fact, let me see if I can back this up and go at 2 hours time lapse, and I'll zoom out here so you can see all the hail swaths that we've had, just marching from the northwest to the southeast with these incredible storms. So very strong updrafts within these storms producing the large hail. Go back to reflectivity again here. And we still have some warned storms here. This one that is over, and that's moving over northern Monroe County. It's might be making its way into Bloomington, at least the southern edge of it will. 10:15 is that's in effect for the next 20 minutes or so. And then this one coming out of Johnson County and into Bartholomew County, heading towards the surprising town of Hope. 10:30 with that thunderstorm warned storm, and obviously we still see a lot of the purples within that, so making likely some very large hail over I-65 right now between Franklin and Edinburgh. And south of Columbus, we have this storm again that we have likely some very large hail. That one until 10:15 as well. Let's see if there's any more updates here. And from Edinburgh and Johnson County, thunderstorm, wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. And that is a local storm report there. And we still have the severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of central Indiana. Let me zoom back out on that so you can take a look. And I just turned it off. Let me turn it back on. There we go. So we know that a lot of this area still could see more activity. Even though this corridor of I-70 is still dry right now, we know that more storms will likely be moving in and into this area and then pushing again over the same areas again during the overnight. That's why we are considering the flash flooding becoming an issue. I'm going to take a quick look on Facebook Live if you guys have any questions. Dime-size hail south of Bargersville. Thank you, Annette, for that. So that's good news if it's smaller. See. A lot of lightning north and east Monroe County. Yes, because we're likely going to see some of those, that storm. It is warned. Moving over Ellettsville. Okay, I'm going to jump off here and go to, is our downtown tower cam? There we go. So this is looking south of downtown, and you can see a lot of the lightning there from these storms. It's just been a very loud and bright evening with all these storms firing. Let's see, the sun set at 9:16 tonight. So at 9:53, it's dark and cloudy. Let's see any more here. Melanie's asking any estimate on wind speeds overnight, hoping that the wind won't be too, will hopefully calm down a little bit, but I really think mostly during the overnight we're going to see a lot of the rain is going to be the heavy rain, the flooding. The leading edges of these storms will produce some of those stronger winds. The front edge, go back to radar here again. I'll zoom back out. I'm going to turn off the watch so it doesn't muddy it up so much. And I'll just go ahead and take a look at the severe velocity one more time here again. So we were looking at, again, this is looking up higher in the storm, doesn't look quite as significant, but nonetheless, now near Acme, near State Road 258, could see a little bit of the rotation. However, I do believe this is going to be higher up in the storm where that radar beam is just a little too high than at the surface. We'll take a look at this one near Spencer in Gosport where we had possible rotation there as well, seeing much of the same here at Spencer. Could see a little bit of that rotation, a little bit of inflow in those storms. I'll go ahead and put reflectivity on there. Yeah, you can see where the inflow is coming here, causing a little notch within this, and then it causes a little bit of that rotation. But again, we're likely higher up in the atmosphere with that rotation, but we're still seeing it here even at the surface with the reflectivity showing that we still have a nice inflow with that storm cell right there.
The rotation near Cell and Jackson County.
Yeah. That's when I was just on that too, and you can see that nice inflow too. I mean, I know that we're higher up in the atmosphere, but nonetheless, we see it at the surface on reflectivity that there's a nice inflow. And then when we look at on here, the storm relative velocity, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I know. That's why that's the one we've been telling. Hey, if you're in Seymour, watch that one. That was the one coming out. So yeah, it's approaching Highway 50.
It's moving quick too, because this is just the past 15 minutes and how it's just jumped from one county to the next. So yeah, especially west of Seymour, heading towards US 50. That's what we're watching out for on that one.
Yeah.
And even into Brownstown. That's a more populated area as well.
Yeah, and so it's interesting. The storm axis is south of Indy for right now, and it'll be interesting to see the progression as we go through the overnight. But man, I tell you, in the short term, south of 70 is going to be a busy, stormy place.
It's still primed up. I mean, we haven't had, we've started to work over this area of Spencer, Ellettsville, northern Monroe County's already been hit, but now we're still seeing even just enough instability, just good ingredients to even cause a little bit of that rotation over Spencer.
Yeah, that storm in Jackson County, it's a oppressive looking storm. And then we're definitely seeing the back building from northern Monroe back out toward Terre Haute now.
And yes, and actually the Storm Prediction Center just put out a mesoscale discussion for central Illinois, which means that we'll likely see what's moving from Illinois into central Indiana.
Yeah.
So we are in this for the long haul. At least I am. Sean, you need to scoot at some
Yeah,
point.
we will. This is.
Sean's on vacation, everyone.
This is in the blood, man. It's in the blood.
He is here. Love it. Do you want to take over?
Yeah, we can for a little bit.
Up to you.
I did bring you some water.
Thank you so much.
We need to get a water fountain back here, but yeah. So that cell definitely in Jackson County is rotating here. So safe spots, Brownstown and Seymour until this thing can get to your south and southeast. Still showing rotation, and our shear, I will not be a bit surprised if we get a tornado warning for this, even if we don't. The shear detector is ramping up a bit there and along State Road 258. So it's going to come real close to Seymour, maybe go right over the airport there, along Highway 50. So that's one storm.
And a new one just popped up. Vigo, Owen, Clay counties.
Yeah,
So here we go. This is the back building you've been talking about all night.
That's the back builder. And this is what we mean. So we're going back just a half an hour in time and then watch as the storms will build toward the west. There you go. So
Incredible initiation with these
National Weather
storms.
Service in Indy saw that rather quickly and boom.
Yeah. They have definitely been on their toes tonight too. God love
Absolutely,
them.
yes.
It's been a busy night for them too.
Yeah, and so for this is probably, this warning is going to be a combo of for hail, basically for the hail.
Yeah.
Inch and a half. Wind speeds less than 50. So
Yeah, not impressive on that,
So-
but definitely the hail.
heads up in Terre Haute, Clay City. Whoa, boy. And so that's the new warning there until 10:45.
Did you pull up the sheer swath over the Jackson County one? That's pretty impressive.
The swath or the rate?
Sheer swath.
Stand by. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's the one that's coming into town there. And it's had a hook. So this is the Indianapolis radar, and this is the vantage point from the Louisville radar.
Ooh, good idea.
Showing a similar story. So
At least that's a little closer. We can.
yeah, there's
Analyze a little better.
definitely some rotation. I would definitely be in your safe areas until this thing can get to your south. And I suspect, and I'm going to circle this, we are going to likely start getting, if this back building continues, which it seems like it will, this area I'm circling from North Vernon to Seymour, Bloomington, get you into Owen County and out over toward Terre Haute. We're probably going to see these storms training, and so we're going to up the odds here of getting some flash flood warnings or just flooding in general, and we're going to start to see a bunch of those. And so what happens with the flash flood warning, if it's your phone will go off, even if you don't have our app, the flash flood warning, the emergency alert will go off on your phone. So don't let that catch you off guard if you're in those areas south of Indy, because I'm expecting we're going to start to get a bunch of them. Let me just do let's do a 45-minute radar lapse, just so you can see the evolution here. Let me slow the speed down just a little bit, so you can kind of see how northern Monroe County out toward Vigo County, those storms are going to train right through that zone, and they're going to put down very, very heavy rain. So we're going to start to see an increase in flash flood warnings. So heads up, and I would include Bloomington in this, even though we're not at flood risk right now. Ellettsville, Lake Lemon, Nashville, Gosport, Spencer, Clay City. And this will work toward Columbus and North Vernon as well. Yeah, still some rotation, and even some rotation there near Ellettsville too, Kelly, a little bit. It's kind of embedded within this. So some pockets of this higher wind, a possibility here with the storms. And let me just set the broader stage. So this is the severe thunderstorm watch that continues till 2 a.m. technically, with temperatures. And you can see Lafayette still sitting at 90, Terre Haute at 89. Now Greencastle and Indy have had rain-cooled air come over them to knock the temperature down a little bit. Still 80.
It's still unbelievably warm.
Yep. Still 86 in Bloomington. Still 84 in Kokomo. And so this is the severe storm outlook for the remainder of tonight. And so you can see, again, the general idea is it's showing the back building of the storm, so we want you to know that. That's what keeps the flood risk so high. And then we'll have to wait and see northern Illinois, Iowa, what develops there to come moving in here earlier tomorrow morning. So it's conceivable some areas may be quiet for several more hours before the show ends up knocking on your door later tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's the view from Kokomo, where it's clear right now. And then we'll get back to what's going on with live Doppler 13 radar here. So we've got Johnson County getting out of the severe thunderstorm warning. That was the storm that produced some hail as well. Morgantown had some near 2-inch diameter hail. And so now we've got, still have the storm that's over Seymour now. Still showing some rotation crossing 50. And then that's going to head down toward Caruthersville. And then we've just got more, remember we were saying eventually goes from cells to more linear storms, and that's what we're seeing there. So these look like they're going to be hail producers, and you can see that right there on live Doppler 13 radar. It's showing you the likelihood of hail, and then it transitions to becoming a flood area, a flood risk too. So again, multiple storms south of Indy. And quiet otherwise. How long have we been going so far? 2.5 hours?
Feels like 5.
Yeah, yep.
No, you're doing awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Colleen's saying we're near 3. Someone sent me a picture of some tree damage in Hancock County. And man, mamatas seem to be everywhere. The modest clouds are everywhere this evening. So
They are fun to see, actually.
well, and then when the sun, you know, they're catching them at the
Yeah.
right, so the sun's, you know, hitting them on the belly, if you will. Yeah, so these storms are, for the time being, well, you know, I can pop it up. I can do it here. That's the beauty of the system. So this is our downtown tower camera looking southwest, so it's looking at that back building line of storms. And you know, we've addressed the flooding and the hail threat. I hoped that we haven't had any you know, lightning strikes homes, but these things will be prolific lightning producers into tomorrow morning, and that is a possibility. Unfortunately, that is a possibility.
A lot of cloud to ground.
Yeah, and this is our north side camera, and then yeah. But so let's get back to radar here. And speaking of lightning, I mean, there you have it. Let's put the lightning counter on these storms, and let me get back to the yeah. So yeah, these are putting down some. These are very electrical storms. Now, what's interesting, if you notice, Terre Haute right now, there's nothing over Terre Haute, but there's a severe thunderstorm warning for Terre Haute. And the reason why is the expectation is that that line will continue building that way over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes. So that's why that, and then if you look back over into Illinois, this thing is beginning to fill in, if you will. This is the latest on the storm now. That's over Seymour that we've been following. Let's see what yeah, thankfully let me turn the lightning off. Thankfully the rotation broad, but still some there. And let's see what the hail looks like. Yeah, look at these hail swaths, as Kelly was showing you this earlier. So you can really see right through Martinsville, Trafalgar. And then that's the cell that's moving into Seymour. So this is a nice way to kind of see the swath of the hail that we've had. Because how far back does this go, Kelly?
The hail swath?
Yeah. Oh, because I want to go. Here you go.
You should be able to go pretty far back.
So watch this. So this is about the time I was heading home to grab a bite to eat, watching radar, and the cell pops up in northwest Marion County, and boom goes the dynamite. And there
it's
you
only
have it.
because you left.
I purposely came in, reverse psychology.
Exactly, but then you psyched it out again.
Yeah, so, yeah, the insurance folks are hating this. Homeowners are hating this. But there's going to be a lot of repair work that's going to need to be done to roofs on that, you know, from basically Nora out toward Geist, New Powell, Warren Park, and then we've had multiple hailers, big ones, big ones. There's the one that went through Morgan and Johnson here. That's current time. So, yeah.
All right, here's a cool lightning strike from Sean Brown, friend of the show.
Former storm chaser for Channel 13,
yeah.
good friend, great friend.
And incredible catch of lightning, which is very difficult to catch on camera.
Yep, yep. You know that location?
No, I did not get that.
I saw it tweeted earlier, and now it's...
I'll look to see if he posted on here.
Just taking a look at the chat here.
Not sure he posted that.
Steinsville had 1 inch hail earlier. Yep. And it's still just going to be a bumpy interim here. You know, we talked about Bloomington earlier. We talked about that cell that we said, hey, it's going to stay to your east. Now we're kind of changing it up here. So now the storms just to the north of Bloomington, not that much north. Pop up radar there if you can't. Thank you, brother. Not much to the north. And pop me on 2 if you can, Nick. I appreciate that. So Ellettsville to Lake Lemon, and then Gosport. So all that's going to start drifting south and southeast. And then we got a new...
Some water.
Yeah, I'll take some more.
Okay.
I had a cup somewhere.
I'll get you a new one.
Thank
I don't
you.
see it.
New severe thunderstorm warning until 11 p.m. And this includes, Sean Brown's picture was near Arlington. That one escaped me earlier. Jackson, Jennings County now, severe thunderstorm warning until 11 p.m. Reports of nickel-sized hail in Seymour. Okay, let me take the lightning off. And then as we go farther north, that's just heavy storm action over Columbus. This will show you where the hail has been tracking. And then severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15. That includes Ellettsville, includes Lake Lemon, Spencer, Gosport, and then we've got this long polygon, Terre Haute, Clay City, and Center Point. And then we've got additional storms, get rid of that, additional storms that are back into Morgan County. So Martinsville back in the action again. And all part of what will become and going to be a long stormy night here. Long stormy night in central Indiana. Up to the north, quiet as it gets right now, hot, real hot. Just waiting on the action. We'll show you our tower camera again, and just how vivid the lightning is with the building storms across the south. All right. So current view of temperatures. Okay. And that 77 comes with a. Let me check our dew point here in Indy. Very muggy, very humid air. That's part of our weather story here today. That continues to feed these big storms. And let's see, what's our dew? Our dew point in Indy is down to 66. It was high enough today to produce a heat index close to 100 over a good portion of central Indiana. So for the interim, in my opinion, it appears the focal point is going to be central Illinois and central southern Indiana, maybe for the next couple of hours, and then wait on the next chunk of energy to come in and get the new storms to form and take us through the overnight into tomorrow morning. Now we are going to eventually transition into more of this heavy, the storms will be big lightning producers, big heavy rain. Whether or not we'll still get some wind, we'll have to wait and see. If we get a complex that forms and tracks through, then that ups the odds. That ups the odds for widespread, potentially damaging wind into tomorrow morning. And so that's why we're in the out of a 1 to 5 scale. That's why we're on the level 3. Popping again. All right, stand by. Yeah. So this is our tower camera looking southwest. Ripping and roaring, and so these are what they're looking at right in here. And we're starting to get a little bit of some wind shear, a little shear marker there near Ellettsville. So we will see if we get something out of this. Ooh, I don't like the looks of that. So what may happen here is that we may get a tornado warning out of this particular storm. Looks like It's on the southern edge of this. Let me turn off the shear marker real quickly. Yeah. Let me go back to radar. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we'll have to wait. That's catching my attention there. So heads up there in Ellettsville. We'll see if they, if we may end up getting a new warning out of this for northern central Monroe County. But that's starting to show some rotation there. At minimum, we might just get a new severe thunderstorm warning with wind potential out of that. Ellettsville, if I were in Ellettsville, I'd go ahead and get in your safe spots. And if I'm in Bloomington, watch this one. As it looks like the wind is starting to pick up a little bit, and the rotation picking up a little bit. So that's what we use what we call the shear detector. So this shows wind shear within the storm that's starting to peak out there over Ellettsville. And that's why the radar is showing us this rotating column there. So be advised in Bloomington. I think there's probably a good chance we're going to get a new severe thunderstorm warning out of this at minimum, and maybe something a little more than that. Probably will end up going tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible, I suspect. Either way, Ellettsville, Bloomington, on your IU campus, bring it indoors and let this thing pass by, although it's going to take a while to pass by. Once you get into the teeth of it, we're going to be talking about very heavy rain. This thing, and if you've noticed, this is a half-hour lapse that I'm showing you there with the radar. It's not moving very much, and that is the concern with the flooding potential. So we're going to keep that going. And let me hop on here and see if I can try to answer some questions. I'm sorry I haven't been on the live chat here. Oh boy, there we go. Yeah, so there it is. That's the, starting to get a little bit of rotation there, Kelly, over Ellettsville. Okay. A little bit. I think the wind, wind potential in general is there. No severe thunderstorm warning right now. That may definitely change. Yeah. 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 Why don't you, if you want to do some prep for your 11, that's fine. All right. So we're looking at wind shear within these storms with live Doppler 13 radar here, and there's a pocket, some strong shear over Ellettsville right now. And that's going to come close, if not go over IU and Bloomington. All right, little green and red next to each other, and we've got some other little embedded areas too, in addition to the hail that's going on from Center Point and Gosport. And that's within that storm that's what we call back building there. And that's the storm that's going to be gradually working toward Ellettsville and Bloomington, and going to go right back over Nashville. So we're going to do it all over again. Martinsville's back in play. Southern part of Johnson County is going to get back in play here very soon. And Columbus, you got more on the way as well. And then that's the severe thunderstorm warning that goes out over toward Terre Haute. So long way to go. Still seeing the shear that's over Ellettsville. So haven't heard any reports of anything yet. Hopefully that will be the case. Laura, it will not stay south of Indy. Eventually Indy will get in. It may take a couple more hours, if not a little bit longer. So make sure you leave your weather radio on. You might want to get up early. And guess what? Speaking of the devil, we just had a pop of thunder here. So I suspect that might be from the outflow boundary that pushed through earlier. Let's see what we got.
Well, that's not lightning again, or fireworks.
Well, maybe that was fireworks. We are getting closer to the July 4th. Yeah. Rain in Monroe County. Sheila, I appreciate that. Yep. Northern part of especially. Yep. And then working down the line here. Maybe. John's asking about 3 or 4 in Indy, and I think Indy at that point probably going to be in the thick of it there. Let me show you one of our model products here, John, and it's actually not doing too bad of a job of placing those back building storms where they are. All right, and again, this is just one particular model run, but we're going to have multiple storm clusters through tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we got a busy night, busy overnight. Flash flood watch, 1 to 3, locally 4 to 5 and higher. And still plenty of energy to work out of the atmosphere. 84 Lafayette, still 86 in Terre Haute. So severe thunderstorm watch technically until 2 a.m. The flash flood watch goes until 10 a.m. Let me go back to radar. I mean, I don't know. I think that might be a storm, Kelly. I don't know. Or one heck of a fireworks out there. Okay. Interesting. All right. Nathan, status around Seymour. Here you go, partner. Yeah, not sticking out like it was earlier. I'll say that. Little bit, let me turn the lightning off. Little bit there, Nathan, south of Seymour, closer to Crothersville along 31, but not as strong as it was earlier. And it's lost, it had more of a definitive hook earlier. That's not necessarily the case right now. And that's drifting down. And Seymour's out of the hail too. Right now, Chris, in Crawfordsville, you're in good shape. It might take a couple more hours before things start popping up there too. There is a couple of boundaries around that might set something off. I mentioned flash flood warnings, okay? And we got them. So here we go. This includes Ellettsville, Lake Lemon. Stop me if you've heard these cities before tonight. Man, Spencer, Gosport, flash flood warnings. Center Point. And that flash flood warning, by the way, goes until 3:15. So, yeah. We're going to have multiple flash flood warnings tonight. Multiple flash flood warnings. And I suspect what will happen is because of the movement of these, they're not dropping real quick south, so they're basically going almost west to east-southeast. We'll see an extension of these warnings that will probably drift down into Nashville and Columbus, Westport, possibly into Greensburg, too. Brittany, right now for Franklin, I would keep an eye on this storm. Might build your way. Probably just be more of a heavy rain deal, heavy rain and lightning. And let's see what the latest, that was the hail from earlier. But yeah. And there's just tremendous rainfall in addition to what's going on. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a long night, my friends. Picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue, huh? People who watch, they know what I'm talking about. That's my airplane joke. I tell you what I'm noticing here, Kelly, is starting to get a northern, if you watch on the radar laps, we're starting to see a bit of a northern expansion of that storm cluster, now getting into more of like southern Putnam County. So that will be interesting in the short term to see if that's a trend that continues. Again, remember, north of this axis, all this air is just waiting to go off. Just needs the trigger. And so I'm thinking that possibly might be it.
Severe thunderstorm watch issued for central Illinois, which was the area that we was going to start seeing a lot more.
Okay. Stand by here.
Which is moving our way.
All right. Yeah. New severe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
I was just saying there's a new severe thunderstorm watch in effect.
That's right. Yep. So we'll see additional, and you're right. And what Kelly's pointing out is we'll see storms growing upstream, and that will come rolling down the train tracks, if you will. And yeah, so that's the severe thunderstorm watch that goes technically until 2 a.m. And that may be extended to go beyond that. Okay. So right now, flash flood warnings for northern Monroe, northwest Brown, southern Morgan, goes out into Owen, Clay counties here. Severe thunderstorm warnings go from the Illinois line near Terre Haute, and may get some new severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So either way, very concerned about the flash flooding that's going to be taking place here. Time it could hit Martinsville. Boy, you're right. It's over you right now, Tracy. You should be rocking with thunder. Might have some small hail with it. Whiteland in the clear right now. I don't think that'll be the case by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. Okay? I don't think that'll be the case by the time you get up tomorrow morning. Oh my. But yeah, and then in the short term here, the focal point is within this axis from Terre Haute to Columbus. But let me go out to a regional perspective. So what's going to eventually happen is that we're going to start to see storms erupting up here, and those are the ones that are going to be drifting down into more of central Indiana. All right. Those are the ones that are going to be drifting down. Where's my home base here? Oh boy, someone changed my home base. Oh my goodness. We're not concerned about the weather that far south. All right, so yeah, let's get it. Simona Plainfield, hang in there. We'll watch these. I think, again, I think what will happen is that, and what we're kind of seeing this, these storms are now starting to build slightly more to the north. So you definitely can see the light show from that storm axis to your south. But I think we'll start to see things happen here over the course of the next couple of hours, and then we'll wait and watch for the complex that we're expecting to develop over Illinois to come rolling in here much later tonight into tomorrow morning. South of Mare look great.
It happens.
Yeah. If you're heading south, Columbus, Caden, you got some boomers close by, and then this stuff's probably going to start rolling your way. And stand by here, Stephen. We'll look at the rotation there for you. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with it. more broad than anything. Might still have some pockets of stronger gust. And yes, Hope is probably going to, yeah, you'll be close to that. You'll be close to that. Mary and Blaze, you're fine for now. You're fine for now. And yes, the light show with these storms, you are correct, Jill. Very, very impressive. I mean, these are some big ones here. This is what our camera again, and it's just about continuous. Okay, yeah, you got it. You got it. No, Deborah, we're not doing pumpkin spice latte, but I appreciate the offer. That's a deep inside joke. Main threat of the storms in the early morning, it's going to be a combo of flooding, lightning, and wind. So how strong wind, that's to be determined, but it's going to be a combo of everything. We're gradually, I think, going to lose, as I think these storms become a little more linear versus cellular. Those cells are the ones that were delivering that massive hail that we had. So I think we should transition into less of a, baseball-sized golf ball. But we still have to get through some of these that are showing up. That radar near Clay City, that could put down some inch-plus hail there. And then we got the storms over in Cloverdale, back out toward Brazil, Martinsville. And yeah, Lisa, I think the tornado potential is pretty minimal, but the wider scope of stronger wind gusts certainly in place. Certainly in place here. Let's see if anything's sticking out on the shear rate. Yeah, we're still getting some pockets of potential wind shear around Ellettsville and Bloomington. Not in a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, but flash flood warning. So that's that the rainfall's ramping up, and based on the radar trend. Yes, I do think storms. No, I do think storms will get strong. And it's going to be probably here very shortly for Terre Haute. That's why that warning was issued. So, and you can see just in the last 10 minutes, you can see how they've back-built all the way into Illinois. So that's why that flash flood warning's been issued. All right, let me throw up our temperatures again, just to show you again. Here we are at almost 11 o'clock. We still have multiple areas that are in the mid-80s, including Bloomington and Lafayette and Kokomo. So still plenty of heat, plenty of energy to squeeze out of the atmosphere here, and for some areas, you're just going to have to wait for the storms. So don't think that we're done here, despite the fact that the sun is setting. I still believe that we're gonna get into more storms. Might take a while, but if you watch, this is modeled radar going through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. You can see we've got a long way to go, and we've got more than one model that's depicting that for central Indiana. So there's still a long way to go with this before we get completely out of the woods. And even tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, not as widespread, but still going to be a severe weather threat for tomorrow.
I can pull that up for you right now. I was just looking at
Okay.
a couple of models. Nick, if you want to switch to one, we do have a risk of severe weather. It does include all of central Indiana. We're in that lower end of the risk. But if we look here, I do think we're going to see a lot of dry time tomorrow, and things will start heating right back up again. Once that main swath of rain moves out tomorrow morning, then we'll likely start to see more showers and thunderstorms developing by mid-afternoon. And they're not going to be as widespread and not going to be as heavy, but nonetheless, they're still going to be around. And some of these storms could be severe as well. And looks like it's going to continue right along that I-70, I-74 corridor again for a lot of the area, just pounding areas that have already seen rain tonight into tomorrow morning. But tomorrow we're expecting another hot and humid day. Temperatures will climb back into the upper 80s, and it will be breezy with those winds out of the southwest. And then as we go into Sunday, still a chance of some storms. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Sean. High of 90 degrees. And yeah, so I mean, we're not out of it until really Monday. We have more storms on radar that will likely start firing by 8 a.m. and that's going to be what we'll be watching out for on Monday. But much cooler air starts to return by Tuesday.
Time for a cool change there, Kelly Green.
I love that song.
LRB, man. Oh, boy. Yeah. Boy, but today, though, I mean, it was about as bad as it gets in terms of the mugginess and the heat combined. And once that cloud deck broke, I mean, the torch just, boom, went up. So it's interesting. I've had a lot of people. I was just checking my Twitter feed, and a lot of people saying, I just don't think, like in areas that haven't been hit yet, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. And again, this is, I think, transitioning into, it's going to be a prolonged deal where the storms, again, will back build and possibly build north. Kind of sounds counterintuitive to our weather. But that's how the atmosphere is going to work tonight. And the atmosphere, the rain potential, it's a product we call precipitable water. In layman's terms, how much rainfall can be squeezed out of the atmosphere. Those values are about as high as they get around here. So anything on radar between now and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning will have very heavy rain potential. Then when you take into effect an account that the storms at times will be doing something that we call training, meaning the storms will go over the same areas, and that's why we have the flash flood warning, that ups the odds again. So sometimes it takes one ingredient to produce flash flooding. In this particular case, we've got multiple ingredients that are coming together to produce the flash flooding risk that we're starting to see here. So we're still watching the storms. If you're with us in Bloomington, now building in your vicinity, now we're getting the thunder over IU, Bloomington. It's been over Ellettsville. Let's do a little radar analysis here. Rotation, yes, broad, but some rotation. It's broad. Again, think of the figure skater with the arms out moving slower. But the potential that still some of this could get mixed down to the ground. And so we're watching that in addition to the light show that's going on over the northern half of Monroe County and back out west all the way to the Illinois state line. So this is, and that's the other thing about these storms. I mean, they will be big-time lightning producers because of the atmosphere they're working with. But yes, in the short term right now, that's where the focal point is going to be. South of Indy for the time being. And just kind of a waiting game. But heads up there, Lake Monroe, storms moving toward you. Nashville still in it, and down into Seymour. So we're probably going to get some, this trend continues. we're going to start to see some additional flash flood warnings. Yep. Yep, you are getting hammered in Bloomington. Probably going to, I would say at minimum, we might get some additional flash flood warnings extended farther south, and then may get some additional severe thunderstorm warnings as well. All right. So we're going to take this puppy up to 10:45, and then Kelly's going to get ready for her 11 o'clock show here. So once again, let me put our the temperatures back on here. So severe thunderstorm watch will continue until 2 a.m. And let me show you future track once again, just to show you how we're expecting multiple rounds of heavy storm clusters. And this is going to take us into your Saturday morning. All right, Lindsay, we'll have you covered here through the evening. Lindsay Monroe is also going to be coming in, and she'll have you covered through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. We've got crews working on storm coverage in terms of damage and large hail. And before we sign off here, just got a new severe thunderstorm warning in, as we were just talking about. Oh my goodness, let's go back. Sorry about that.
Clay, Greene, Monroe, Owen,
Yep.
Sullivan, Vigo counties, a lot of counties with that back building of
Yep.
those storms sliding farther south and north.
Yeah, so this is going to be for a combo of both. Large hail, over near 1.5 inches, and potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind. It does include Bloomington. It does include Lake Monroe, Ellettsville, Spencer, and that severe thunderstorm warning, that one will go until 11:45. Don't often see that, but that is going to be an hour-long severe thunderstorm warning, just because of the slow nature with these. They're not moving very fast at all. All right, we're coming up to 10:45 now. We appreciate you guys.
You want to go out with one more hailstone?
Yes, please.
This is Elaine Lar Hanselman. This one was from New Pal. Another incredibly humongous
Yep.
hailstone, likely baseball sized.
Yep. All right. All right, friends. Signing off for now. And please join us on Channel 13 coming up at the top of the hour.
Thanks to this guy.
And we will help you through the evening. Thank you. And we'll carry over. Again, make sure you've got your weather radios tonight. Make sure you've got, well, if it's a flash flood warning, it's going to wake you up anyway. So
Right.
make sure you have those.
The notifications on your app, the Live Doppler 13 app, it'll alert you even if there's just lightning in the area. But definitely those warnings are important to be able to get when you're asleep.
Yeah. Take care, friends. Appreciate you.